Usually people say that's for the homies. That's for the Eagles. First place. Happy Monday to everybody but Cowboys fans. The Cowboys just seem like they can't keep a quarterback healthy. That's another story for another time. Nevertheless, thank you wherever you are. Good morning, afternoon, evening, good night. I'm joined by one of the nicest, one of the most knowledgeable guys in the community. That's what I believe. That's what a lot of people believe. Couldn't do this show without him. So I'm going to bring him in. Mr. FaceTime, what is going on?
That's giving me a whole lot of credit, man, but I appreciate it. And did we just
Oh,
see you
man.
drinking from the bottle like a barbarian?
What's that?
Did we just see you drinking from the bottle like a barbarian? I love it.
Yeah, so what ended up happening was a lot of people are accustomed to seeing me drink out of that cup that's got my name on it. My sister's got it for me. Unfortunately, with the move, that same sister that gave me the cup actually put it in a box that broke. So now I'm like an average Joe just drinking out of the bottle. I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do, but
it's all bad.
we're gonna get through this. We're gonna get through this. A big week in New Comic Book Day.
Definitely.
Hopefully we have some entertaining stuff to talk about in the spec side. Big news for me that I actually was pressing these and and they came out looking pretty good. I might have to send them to get officially pressed. I still don't know what I'm going to do with them, if I'm going to sell them, if I'm going to keep them, but I got 2 copies left. So I'm going to see what happens. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's going to be the only time that you're going to see that art for that series, and that's the big selling point for those ash cans, really. That and just the scarcity of them.
Yeah, right? And I actually tried calling this shop that had the last time I picked up some, which was like a month and a half ago, and he was still like he had them on the freebie rack, right? Like the free comic book rack and all that.
Right. He took those right to eBay.
So I was gonna call him and say, "Hey man, like, do you have any? Could you leave them to the side?" But he hasn't I don't know if he just doesn't answer his phone or what. It's this old school, old European guy, very hard to understand. Really nice and fun when you're like in his shop. But just over the phone and stuff.
Well, why haven't you went to the shop and checked though?
He is 2.5 hours away from me. So
how many copies do you have? That might be worth a drive.
Yeah, so it's not a drive that like if he was just like close to me, I would do it in a heartbeat. But the fact that I'm basically dedicating 5 hours of travel just to get it. So I've kind of
fair enough.
I'm gonna have to maintain and like plan it out properly. So I don't know. I'm gonna try one more time tomorrow. Like I said, he's an old school European guy. Social media is not his thing. Like he doesn't have Instagram, Facebook for it, anything. Like there's a Yelp thing, and that's about it. So I'm gonna try my hardest next week to go if he has them. I don't even know if he'll understand what I'm saying. Like I'm gonna be like, "Hey, the ash can, last Ronin," and he might be like, what
are you talking about? Yeah.
We'll see. Nevertheless, New Comic Book Day, 2 days away, or I guess like a day and a half away. DC comes out tomorrow, obviously. But let's get started, guys. So I hope everyone's doing good. I hope everyone had a good weekend. And I hope everyone's ready to collect some comics. It's a big week, man. Big week.
Yeah, it is a big week this week. There's some very interesting books that are coming out and some very interesting events going on with those books.
Yeah, man. It's crazy. It is crazy. I saw like you sent me that receipt of like what you purchased last week, and I was just blown away. I'm like, holy crap. I remember saying to Keys, I'm like, man, I that's a lot. Like, so I know you go heavy on New Comic Book Day. I know you you buy what you preach and things like that. So that's what I respect out of it. But yeah, let's get started. Let's start with Image Comics.
Yeah, man. This first one, A Man Among Ye #3. I honestly forgot the series was going on. There was some interest in it when it first was coming out, which I believe was pre-COVID and the whole stoppage. And after that, it's just kind of, I think the first 2 issues came out, and after that, we had to wait on this 3rd issue for a really long time. And I've completely forgotten about the series, to be honest. It's about female pirates, Anne Bonny, I think, and Mary Reed or something like that.
I mean, I love redheads. I hope my girlfriend's not watching because she's blonde. So, I take that back if she's watching. But
Movie's gonna be in trouble now.
this cover, I really like. To be honest, from far away before I clicked it, it kind of had that like Pirates of the Caribbean vibe.
Yeah,
Definitely,
definitely.
like if you kind of look at it from like a not directly at the girl, but you kind of just your eyes almost go to like Jack Sparrow and things like that. Obviously, very pirate like. You could see it in the letter, in the header, obviously what she's wearing and things like that. So, yeah, number 3. That's kind of cool. I mean, women, and different races and things like that. That's, I mean, it shouldn't be like that, but that's kind of like what's hot right now. Like what's in. I shouldn't even say hot, but like that's just what's like selling because a lot of people are saying, okay, we're at this point in society where things are hot. You never know what kind of this could be.
Right, and this comic has some historical significance with the women in those roles. I mean, they're based off of actual historical figures. So I don't know if it's actually supposed to be based off of events surrounding their life or not. But I mean, it's a comic book. I imagine there's some embellishment for sure. But I so
Ascender number 14. I got to be honest, I haven't heard of Ascender up until this point.
This is part of it's part of the Descender / Ascender series or whatever that by Jeff Lemire. I actually have not been reading it, but I've been meaning to pick it up. It's one that just recently got optioned, I believe. Now that doesn't necessarily mean a whole lot, but there's a lot of things that get optioned that never actually get made. But
yeah, exactly, yeah, and I think that that's something that, especially during COVID, is just been something that's been taken out of context, right? Context. Wow.
Yeah, definitely. Anything that gets optioned seems to generate a lot of heat immediately, just because of the potential that's there.
Yeah, exactly.
There may be nothing that ever happens with it, and it fades from existence, but.
Now
the heat's there for at least a minute.
Yeah. Now we're at issue 14 here. Do you see anything like anything good with the storyline? Any characters that we should be on the lookout for when it comes to this storyline, or what?
From this one, I actually couldn't tell you. Like I said, it's one that I haven't been reading. I meaning to pick it up, but it's one of the very few that's not on my pull list. But it has been recommended to me, so it sounds like it's a pretty decent series. And Jeff Lemire, like I said, he's writing it. Everything that he touches is pretty good. It's just, yeah, I mean, I got a lot on my list already, so.
It's got, honestly, like I really like this cover. You guys know how I feel about. I'm very biased when it comes to white, black, and red. I feel like having a white or black cover, especially if you grade them in the 9.6, 9.8, those are big trophies. That's how I feel. I really like this book. I really like this cover. So yeah, I might have to do a little bit of research on this, especially after you said it got optioned. I might have to do some research. I know there's a lot of things that get optioned and things like that, but this one, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, with Jeff Lemire writing it, like I said, everything that he's writing has been pretty great. So this one's one of those ones that getting optioned, there probably is some real potential there.
Yeah.
So.
We got Bliss number 4 of 8, so we're at the halfway point. I could probably see something happening as it is the halfway point in that run. It seems like. Are you picking it up?
I picked up like the first issue, and then I fell off the series after that. It's about a new drug called Bliss, and the effects of that and whatnot. It was. The first issue was a decent read. It just didn't really hook me into the series too much, so
yeah,
it was one that I had to let go.
And sometimes you got to do that, right? Because there are other books, and
right, there's a lot of books out there.
When you're buying every book, and not you specifically, but I just mean like people in general, right? Like when there comes a time where you have to, cut your losses if you're not liking the storyline or if you're not seeing it right, depending if you're a collector, more on the collector side or more on the investment side, right?
Definitely. I mean, if you're feeling the series, obviously keep buying it, for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you're not, then just let it go, move on to something because there's always something new coming out.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Chew number 4. This is gonna be a weird slash fun fact about me. I like sharks, and again, I like white covers. I really like this cover.
That's on
I
your
don't know
pickup list
why.
then.
It's a badass cover to me. I don't know. Like obviously, I mean it's Chew 4. I don't see it being anything crazy. I don't know. I get attracted to like cool art and things like that, especially when it comes to
Right.
books, like the covers and stuff. And like this is just one of them. I really like it. It's just I don't know. It,
Well,
it's
there's
not
nothing
like
wrong with that at
super
all.
funny or anything like
And
that. Like it's just it's comical, but yeah, I just like it. I'm just a sucker for white covers, man.
for sure. And like, so this series itself has like kind of an interesting premise. It's actually a continuation of another series, Chew, that was spelled Chew,
Yeah,
that came
yeah.
out from
This must
Image.
be like a
That,
sister or something, right? Like it is.
right. And
Yeah.
this is about a sister that has a similar power to his, in that, like, if I remember right, she foresees events or something like that whenever she eats certain foods or something. It's some crazy, power revolving around eating food.
Hmm.
And while her brother is the straight arrow cop, she's she's a bit of a criminal. I mean, she seems like more of an honorable side or whatever, but she definitely does some dirt.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, when they announced this one, I remember when the first issue came out. I missed out on it. Missed out as in like I have these battles, right? You could talk about it all you want, like leading up to it, and then when you pass it by the shelf, you're like, I don't know. Like sometimes I like to save my money because there's always another week, there's always another book. Sometimes I have to remind myself, hey, you don't have to buy all the books this week if you're not really feeling it because next week there's this, like so there's a lot of variables.
Right.
Yeah, I really like this cover. I might pick this one up. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't think it's gonna be a crazy book. That's just for my personal PC there. Just the artwork. I just like it.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. If you like it, that's all that matters.
Yeah. Dead Body, Road Bad Blood. Wow. Okay, let's try it again. Let's rewind. Because I'm
Yeah,
only on my
run that
Corona.
flash one more time.
I was gonna say I'm on my first Corona, and I know my English isn't that bad. So, Dead Body Road Bad Blood, number 5 of 6. We're getting to the end of that storyline. Obviously, 5 out of 6. So, I haven't read it. I don't know anything about it. I'm probably gonna skip on picking it up.
Yeah, it's a mini series kind of in the vein of like a Walking Tall, if you've seen that movie with The Rock. Kind of in
Yeah,
that similar vein with a female lead. So that's basically what you're getting with that mini series.
yeah. I think the one a lot of people are waiting for us to talk about is probably Department of Truth number 2. Number 1 has been very successful. A lot of people are picking it up. Well, got it. A lot of people are selling it for pretty pennies and things like that. I don't know, man. I really like the cover B more so than the cover A. To be honest with you, like I love this cover.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't care what cover it is, man. I'm totally on board with the series just from the first issue. It was dope. Uh, and I think it's only going to get better. James Tinian's kind of being, he's being able to write what he wants and pretty much do whatever he wants with this book. Like when writers, take on the characters for like DC and Marvel, they don't get as much free reign as they do with these indie books. And James Tinian being able to just do what he wants. That first issue was killer, and I can't wait to see where this series is going.
You know what this kind of reminds me of, and I know it's like night and day. It just reminds me of it. It's not like I'm not comparing it. I'm not saying they're similar or anything like that. But almost like Strange Academy. Like when Strange Academy came, big hit, boom. Everybody's like kind of wanting it. This I don't know. This just kind of has the same feel where like I can see this book every time the title comes out. Like people are just going to go crazy for it. I could probably.
Yeah,
I don't
kind
know
of
if there's gonna be second or third printings of it, but like I could totally see it. It's just got that vibe for me.
right. Yeah, it's kind of to me like it's very early to say, but another book that's still early kind of in its run and everything that it sort of reminds me of is Something is Killing the Children. It's not in similarity to the story or anything, but just in, you know,
But that one I feel like
the
it's already hit
potential for the
the peak,
series and
right?
everything like that.
I feel like that one's already hit the peak. Like Something's Killing the Children. Like I think everybody is on board. I think everybody wouldn't be surprised if like, okay, it's gonna be something. I think that's where the
Something is
conversation
Killing the Children has hit its peak probably amongst the the more hardcore comic community. There is a side of the community though that you have to remember doesn't sit there and watch YouTube videos,
Yeah,
doesn't sit there and read Instagram posts and Facebook about comics. All they do is they just go into the comic book store weekly, see some books on the shelf, pick up the ones that they like, and go home.
yeah,
You know, that may not be picking up Something is Killing the Children yet because that's basically something. It hasn't really hit the potential for the more outside market, outside like the hardcore comic collectors, and even into the mainstream.
yeah,
Now, if James Tinian has alluded to some things happening with that series that could see it on TV or whatever. So once it hits that point, you'll probably see even more spikes in it.
yeah. It's true. That
But now that's for Something is Killing the Children, so that's a little
yeah.
sidetracked. But
This one,
that,
I mean,
but
I
Department
don't
of the
know.
Truth, you never know. It could do the same thing. It just depends on how he writes the series and how good it is. The first issue is great, but the second issue could be trash. Who knows?
Yeah, agreed. I think it has a good story, but I'm not sure about its like. Yeah, I mean, it's obviously, Face is right. It's super early. It's
Yeah,
issue two.
it's
I just
way too early to tell.
for whatever reason, I don't know. I just see how people like I try to see and like watch when books come out, especially when new series comes out, and I like to see when like the first 3 issues come out. How people get into them. And it just reminds me. It just got that feel. Like talking to people about it last week or the last time when book number 1 came out, how it was and how people felt about it and the story. So I don't know. It's just got that vibe for me. Something to be on the lookout for. They're dope covers. Both covers are dope. I'm probably gonna grab cover B. I don't know. I'm assuming you're probably grabbing both.
Yeah, I'll probably end up grabbing them both. And the other thing that's cool about this series is like it's one of those ones that has the potential to it has the potential to keep everybody involved in that, because essentially it seems that the premise behind it is that conspiracies or really any belief that people have can be made true if enough people believe them. So it's very inclusive. It's seeming in whatever people believe or feel. But it has the potential to also piss off everyone. So it's going to be interesting.
Exactly. Exactly. Kid Collector saying the 1 in 25 for that book is awesome. Dude X is
Yeah, it's like
Universe X.
it's like some kind of a like demon creature eating a baby or something like that. It's probably going to be hot, that 1 in 25 cover.
Universe
Because
X
let's face it, we're
2 covers
some
and haven't read
twisted
it yet.
individuals.
Manny's saying, newbie, check out Mel from Drunken Chat's latest post on IG. Do you know what book that is? Yeah, I'll go check. I haven't seen it yet. Snap. What's happening, gang? Hey, what's going on, Hyper? Thanks for joining, man. Yeah, I'm gonna grab. See, this is the thing. Like, I like cover B more, but I'm like right now, like if I was at the comic shop right now, like I'd probably pick up both. But
So, and here's actually another thing. On the first cover, they did the kind of, it was very similar to the A cover of number 2, the main cover,
yeah,
and they did the secret variant with Lee Harvey Oswald's face in place of JFK's. I see that we've got Reagan up there, and I know there was a guy that shot Reagan. I can't remember what his name was right offhand. Maybe someone in chat remembers it. But I'm curious to see if maybe there's going to be a secret variant out there of that one.
yeah, I agree. I agree with this comment. From what I'm hearing from a lot of people from the first one and things like that. So yeah, we'll see. again, it's super early, right, guys?
Yeah, it's very
Guys
early
and
run.
ladies and guys. Moving on, we got Philadelphia #9. Now, this was something. This series was really hot. I don't know if it still is for some people. I say that in the sense that I don't feel like a lot of people are still talking about it as much as they were a few months ago.
Yeah, it's probably not being mentioned as much right now, but it's still definitely got some heat to it, and people are following this series. It's a great horror series from Image, which there are a lot of out there right now.
Yeah. So you got two
To be
covers.
honest.
Both of them are kind of freaky looking. Okay, so every time I see this one, I feel like I see Batman. I don't know why. In the right side of the eye, it just looks like from far away. When I first saw it, when I was going out,
Yeah, it kind of
I was
does
like,
actually.
Philadelphia, and then like I was Batman. It was just one of those like mind fucks, right? Like you're watching
Yeah,
something,
right.
and
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
so there's that cover, and then cover B, of course. This one, definitely got that horror, that zombie vibe to it. It looks pretty. I don't know.
You
It
know,
looks pretty painful.
like I'll be honest, Philadelphia generally has at least one of their two covers is phenomenal. Not that these covers
Which
are
one you
bad
say?
or anything, but they're not as great as the covers have been in the past for the series.
I was gonna say like it does. They don't blow me away like
Yeah,
either.
nothing really
I
stands
was
out
waiting
except for
for the
maybe
other
one of
one to
those
be
covers.
something. Yeah, I was waiting for the other one to like be something like nice, and then I went to them. I'm like, they're okay.
Right, like there was I think it was like issue number 8. There was a sick red Scotty Young cover. I know this is like it's had several covers on past issues that have been really good, and just this 9 issue covers don't really stand out for me. That being
Edwin is
said,
saying,
I'm sure I'm picking it up because the
oh
series
yeah.
is great.
Yeah.
So
Side note: Edwin is saying, still waiting on my young blood #1 to be in hot demand. #one day.
yeah, that's that's big dreams right there. Rob Liefeld's still waiting on that too.
Yeah. John Hankey Jr. shot Reagan for Department of Truth. Yeah.
There we go, John Hinckley Jr.
That's what
Yeah.
it was. Yeah.
So I wonder if they're gonna put his face in the place of Reagan's on a secret variant, maybe.
Could be. I was late on Philadelphia and continue to kick myself in the butt today. Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna have a show about that, like kicking yourself in the ass for books or stories that you've missed, because I have some good ones. I actually take blame for screwing Keys at one point, because he asked me point blank, "Hey, should we pick this up?" And I was like, "I don't know, man. I'm not really feeling it." But that's the story for today. We got Nail Biter returns #6. Sweet cover, white cover. I'm not picking it up. I don't know anything about this storyline, so I would be the wrong person to ask. I think something that's going to be.
Yeah, again, like this is another one of the Image horror series that we were just talking about. There's a lot of horror series out there right now, but this one's written by Josh Williamson. So if you're a fan of his writing, you'd probably be a fan of it. There's been some past series that did pretty well, and again, there's been talk of it being optioned, of course. So
At this point, though, like I feel like anybody like.
yeah, man, it's almost everything that comes out is like, yeah, it's optioned.
You know what I mean?
It's optioned. Everything's optioned.
Horror books will always have option potential because the movie, yeah, absolutely. Yep. And you got to remember, like, I don't know, with horror, I mean, it got stagnant for a while. Like it's just we were just seeing the same shit over and over. I feel like horror movies now, especially with that Shudder. What is it? It's like the streaming service. It's not a channel, but with all the horror stuff that's coming out, you're getting more new taste of horror. So yeah, I totally agree with that. Horror, zombies, and monsters. That's always gonna sell. Always.
Right.
Sex Criminals 69. Now I feel like that's probably going to be the end of their run. I don't know anything about the story.
Listen, I'm not sure if it's going to be the end of the run. I honestly didn't look or anything like that. But I mean, it's a series called Sex Criminals, and it's issue 69. For some reason, it's probably going to be important to the series. You just have that feeling. Like, if you're a fan of it, yeah, it's probably, or you just want to pick up random ass key issues that you're going into blind, this probably would be one that you might consider, because of the numbering, I guess.
The pink
I mean,
cover.
how you gonna put out a book called Sex Criminals and not do something big for 69?
Yeah, the pink ones though, I'll admit, like I don't know, they kind of have this like cool vibe to them. It's kind of it kind of has that movie poster
So
vibe.
I don't think those are the covers.
Oh, no?
No, I believe those are like basically boards that go in the poly bag to cover the
Oh,
actual
okay.
covers that they can't really show.
Okay. Well,
Oh
ever
no,
since
it does say it is the final issue. So you're right, it is the final issue of the run.
yeah, see. I'm actually happy that Mr. Key issue is in the chat because we're gonna get into Spawn. He is my Spawn go-to guy. If he says, "Hey, newbie, go and buy a Spawn book," I go and buy it. He hasn't really told me to buy many of them, so I don't have a lot of Spawn in my collection. But I know he's gonna be super thrilled because 311 comes out today. I think he was big on the cover B. I can't remember. He is in the chat, so maybe he can drop some knowledge here. But
Well,
you got three
if
covers.
he can't, I got a little bit for you. Obviously, the cover B is the Black Panther, the Homage by McFarlane. You're gonna see a shit ton of these issues out there. It's sold more than 310, and 310, because of the Gunslinger cover and whatever. I think they said it broke 100,000 copies.
Wow.
The other thing about it is there was reports out that I guess that something happened and I'm not sure, they somehow swapped Diamond, I guess somehow swapped the A and the C covers for retailers or something like that.
Yeah,
so now Image is going to continue to print them or reprint them or whatever until the orders are filled properly or something like that. Yeah, like Universe X is saying they swap the covers.
So Justin here was saying Spawn 311 is the first appearance of Red Meat.
That is the report according to Key Collector. So okay, well, as far as that goes, without trying to spoil anything, having managed to see an advanced copy of that, I did not see any first appearance of Red Meat. At least in the pages of the previews that they were showing. Now that doesn't mean that there's not going to be. If anything, it would be like maybe a last page cameo or something like that, possible. But
Jorge said
as far as like a full first appearance, I'm not sure if the full first appearance is going to be in that issue.
Yeah, Universe X, I believe, is saying by the next issue because as soon as we talked about Spawn, he posted this, so maybe he has some information there that maybe that could be it. Justin, I would love to hear your thoughts on it. If you've seen an advanced copy or anything like that, or
yeah, it's more than likely one of those things where, if anything, it'll be somebody that shows up like right at the end, to build into obviously the next issue. So.
Yeah. Tino saying there's a black and white cover also. Man.
Yeah, the thank you variant that was coming out there, the sketch black and white of the B cover by McFarlane.
So cover A, I mean, I think everybody's probably going to go after that cover B, to be honest with you. I mean, that's what probably I'll go after. The other two I'm not really a fan of, to be honest.
I actually like the I don't even know which one it was anymore. The one it was the C cover, I guess.
Cover
B, I think it was
black and white is a 1 in 15. Oh, okay.
No, I'm sorry. It was the A cover. I guess it's now the C cover. The Barbieri, it's got, Ninja Spawn on there, Gunslinger Spawn.
That's the one that I had pulled up. Yeah.
That one right there.
Yeah. It's got all three of them.
Yeah, that one, I like that one. I'm getting it and the B cover.
Yeah. Of course, the other one I'm not really a fan of, to be honest with you. I'm just like, eh.
Yeah, Matina covers I just try and stay away from for personal reasons, but
a lot of guys in the chat are saying they pre-ordered a bunch. Like Hyper saying he he ordered Justin Universe X.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's gonna be a lot of these issues out there.
Yeah. Spawn, man, it's one of those markets. I always tell Keys, I'm like, man, embrace it. The Spawn guys are just a different world, and there's nothing wrong with that.
He definitely loves his Spawn.
Yeah, that's always a good thing. I always try to preach that to Keys. I'm like, hey, man, you know, dupe and Spawn, that's your thing. Do it, you know. This one I always butcher face. So,
Tartarus. Yeah, okay. Tartarus number 6. I got the first issue of it, the series. I know it's sci-fi, and I love sci-fi, but I did not continue on with the series, so I have no idea what's going on with that one.
Well, neither do I. So we'll just move on up, and we're gonna go to Undiscovered Country number 9.
Undiscovered Country. Now, this is one that I did jump on. I jumped on it late. I've actually went back and got the. I went back and got the first issue, and then I grabbed the trade paperback. But I've jumped on it since the end of the first trade paperback, and it's a dope series. About a post-apocalyptic America that has basically isolated itself from the entire world, and like they did that like 30 years in the past, and nobody's heard a word from anywhere inside of America, and it's about this crew that has to go in there. So, and what's been going on and everything like that.
This first cover right here reminds me, and I know it's obviously not, but it reminds me of that little green cricket.
SpongeBob. Yeah, Plankton. Plankton from SpongeBob, right? That's I don't exactly remember what I thought when I saw it too.
But that's what it reminds me of. I don't know why. I was like, is that? I do like this cover though. Cover B looks. I mean, I love this. I really do.
Yeah, I'm getting both covers. But I personally prefer cover B. I like that too.
Yeah, I like that one. All right, so that's it for Image. We're gonna jump into Dark Horse now. Yeah, there's a lot of weird ass covers. I'm not gonna lie. We got
now like the first one, that Colonel Weird Cosmogog is it's by a writer that I was talking about earlier, Jeff Lemire, who has written a lot of great stuff, and this is set in the Black Hammer universe of superheroes that he's pretty much. I believe he's written everything for.
Black Hammer.
If you're following that series of or that universe or whatever, this series is going to fall into it too.
It is a number 1. Take that with great assault. Right now in my head, I'm making the coin flip to get it or not. I'm probably going to say I'm going to pass on it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I haven't jumped into the Black Hammer stuff yet. It's something I might jump into at some point, but I'm just not there with it yet.
We got Stranger Things, Science Camp. I believe, obviously with the popularity of that show and everything that's going on with them, I believe that this is going to be a book that a lot of people are probably picking up.
Yeah, Stranger Things is hot, definitely.
They got 3 covers.
And it's got a huge following.
Yeah, they got 3 covers. I think out of all of them, cover C is probably my favorite if I had to pick one. I like this one out of all of them. Again, it's just got that old school vibe, old school newspaper, movie poster type thing. Yeah, I like that old vintage, movie poster,
right?
Things like that.
Yeah, that's a great cover.
We got X-Ray Robot 3. We got 2 covers. I have no idea about any of them.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna be honest. I'm reading the series and I have no idea. It's a really fun acid trip. I will say that. I'm not sure exactly where it's going with the series so far, but it's the premise of it is very interesting. I don't even know how to explain it. It has to do with a guy that he went through a portal and somehow came back to man. There's like 2 versions of him. One is a fucking robot or a brain in like a robot suit now, and like, they're trying to save all the realities. And
man, if you were hired by them to sell anyone on that, I don't
Yeah, I can't even, man. Like that series, I don't even know.
We're just
It's
gonna move
good.
on.
I'm
I don't
enjoying
know.
it. I'm gonna finish. I'm gonna continue to pick it up and read the rest of the series. But yeah, wow, I don't even know how to explain that series, man.
Yeah, I think it's a pass for me.
I would probably
ID,
have to drop acid or something to try
yeah.
and explain it accurately.
IDW, I feel like you're gonna get very excited here because I feel like I see a lot of things that you'll probably get. Starting off with Kanto 2 Hollow Men #3.
Yeah,
Kanto,
and we know that Kanto has a huge amount of heat on it. Everybody's into Kanto. And that's just based off of the potential that it might eventually become something. And it probably will. There's,
yeah,
a lot of good reason. It's a really great series.
it's very
If
popular.
nothing else, you'll at least see probably an animated feature at some point.
Yeah, honestly, that's what I was thinking. I thought it was just gonna be like an animated thing to begin with.
But even if it is, it should still do great, just because of the amount of people that already know about it, and
Yeah.
an amazing series that it's been so far.
Justin is saying Black Hammer was optioned by Legendary Entertainment.
Okay, yeah, there you go.
So yeah,
Another one that's optioned.
yeah. Shoot. Okay, so maybe I might have to pick it up.
And Jeff Lemire, like I said, Jeff Lemire's writing it, and that's definitely a good sign as far as picking it up. You can always feel confident in his writing for the most part.
Yeah, absolutely. Crow let the #3.
Yeah, so there's actually looks like there's 3 different ones on there. They're reprinting all 3 different issues this week and doing Momoko covers. Those look like they may have been the original covers recolored.
Yeah, I'm not on each Momoko's.
Yeah, I think they're trying to get them out before Momoko's exclusive contract kicks in. So
Yeah. G.I. Joe, you're probably all over this. #9, 2 covers coming out.
okay. So the thing is, I am getting this, but I'm actually just starting to pick the series up. I have no idea what this run is about yet. I didn't even realize that there was a second GI Joe run going on. Yeah, I'm not sure how I missed that, but yeah, there's a whole ass second GI Joe run. The other one is GI Joe: A Real American Hero, and then this one is just GI Joe. So
Now I think
I'll be jumping on, so I'll be able to tell you more about it at the next one.
I think here's where we are going to get a little bit more action in the chat.
Hold on. You got to go back up.
What? Where? What?
I'm
excited for one. So sorry, which one?
Definitely go back up. Right. Let's see. Right over. Okay. Nope. I'm sorry. There you go. Go over to the next one over.
Redbone?
Yeah. This one I just want to mention because this is an interesting one. It's not a comic. It's a graphic novel that's coming out. So it's got a higher price point on it. It's $20. But it's actually it's a graphic novel for the band Redbone, which was a Native American rock band. If you're a fan of the Guardians of the Galaxy's movies, the "Come and Get Your Love" song was by Redbone.
Yeah, this one does have a dope cover.
And those graphic novels and stuff like that, they do, with historical significance and whatnot, they tend to have some secondary value in the future usually. So
yeah, oh yeah. This is something that you want to put away in that box that I recommend everybody doing. Buy a box, write on it, do not look for 5 years. And then in 5 years, look at what you got. So yeah, I'd probably grab one of these and just put it in there. Sorry. I forgot about this book only because the next book that we're gonna be talking about, I'm very excited about.
Of course.
People are excited about. So let's not wait, let's not hesitate. But it's the last Ronin. Now here's what like how are they gonna know? It looks the same as the ash can ones though.
Yeah, well, that's just the main cover, I guess. So there's definitely there's definitely differences in it, and it'll be as far as I'm aware, it's going to be normal comic book size. Now there's a lot of reports out there that the retailers are not getting all the copies that they've ordered, that they're only getting like a certain percentage. It might be as low as like half of what they ordered. On the other hand, the last that I saw, there's like 71 fucking variants for this thing.
But okay,
So
I'm looking at this thing as you're talking, and like I'm not seeing any. Like I can't see a. Well, actually, no, I see it. It's got this like. Hold on, let me go. It's got this this pipe right here. See where my mouse is?
mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is not on mine. Like he doesn't have that. So I don't know if that's probably going to be the only way you can tell, but that's the only weapon I don't see on mine that's not on his. Same with something that's on the jacket.
I believe I don't remember if it was. I think it was on one of the covers, one of the exclusive covers, or in the ash cans or whatever. There were pictures of him using tonfa, and those look like they could be tonfa,
Yeah.
which none of the turtles right now use, but that could be those that they put on his
Oh,
back.
you know what else I see is if you look at the face, you can kind of see a turtle, and you can see that he's wearing one of the masks. On mine, the Eastman
Right.
or the Ashcan one, you don't see anything, right? It's just a dark face. So I feel like
Right.
for those of us that have that Ashcan one, I think those are the things you're gonna be on the lookout for. As I like to help people out, make sure that you know the differences, right? Make sure you know the difference between if you're buying an Ashcan one and you're buying this one. You got to know the differences because the last thing I want is anybody getting ripped off. Those
Right.
Ashcan ones, I know Kid Collector saying, how did you get that already? That is the freebie. That is the original. That is the preview one.
Yeah,
The one
Ashcan.
that's on eBay selling for like $100. You know what I mean? A lot of people are trying to find that one, and that's why I'm saying just be careful because you don't want to get them mixed up. So just know the differences to look on each cover. That way you're not overspending and things like that.
Yeah, and I believe they are going to be a different size too.
Yeah. Oh, so it's going to be like a normal one? Do you think?
Yeah, I think as far as I'm aware, the comic book is supposed to be standard size. Now it is possible that I'm wrong, but I haven't read anything that said it was going to be like a bigger size.
Manny was telling me that it's hit about 60 US.
Yeah, that's probably about right.
So yeah, so I don't know. Just make sure because I feel like a lot of people have been messaging me since last week about it. A lot of people are saying, "Hey man, like I know it's your book, do what you want, but I would probably keep it. I'd probably keep one, sell one, kind of thing."
Yeah, it's definitely worth it to hold on to one.
Yeah, and it's kind of I don't know. It's like a weird size too. Like it's just I don't know. It's just different.
It is inconvenient to
dude,
try
it's super hard. It's super hard to keep like really nice pressed and things like that. Like the condition,
But listen, just go get one of the get one of the boxes for comics that are like black label size, pack of the bags and boards. It should probably fit in that. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. But I think that this is probably going to be one of the craziest ones. I know somebody in the chat had said that there is. He said, I think it was that Key Collector has 60 or 70 variants.
Yeah, the last I saw, it's up to it was like 71 variants for the.
Right here, Kid Collector. Key Collector. There's 69 or 70 variants. Holy crap!
Yeah, so I mean, I guess if retailers got shorted, the regular covers or whatever, maybe those are going to be hard to find. But with 71 variants, I don't know how hard it's going to be to find this.
Yeah, Justin, $60. I sold one $70 2 weeks ago. So Justin saying he got lucky. He scored 2 of them for $20. That's a steal, especially because you could probably sell one. Worst case scenario, probably $35. Getting cover A one.
Yeah, the incentive variants, the actual retailer incentive variants for these issues are going to be the really big ones.
Yeah. Man, I'm just hoping that these ones kind of keep up in price, man. Like I wouldn't mind reaching $100. You know what I mean? Like I don't know.
Hey, it could.
Yeah. So yeah. So I think that's one of the biggest books this week. To be honest, I know everyone's kind of been going crazy for this book and things like that. If I had to put my bet on anything, the book that everyone's probably got on their pull list and probably going to be able to get a lot of variants because a lot of stores are going to have a lot of copies, it's probably this one.
For sure. This is the book to pick up this week.
We got Transformers 84. I know you love your Transformers. We got four different covers here. Obviously, 2 for Transformers 84.
Well, you got actually, yeah. There's 2 different issues. One's one's Transformers 84. That miniseries is coming to an end, which it appears is going to lead into one of the next miniseries that they're getting ready to do. And then the other one is their Transformers Galaxies. So there's 2 different Transformers ongoing comics going on right now. And they're both going on like more pre events that you would have seen in the cartoon. It's more about like when the Decepticons actually began in the other series, and in this one it follows like Ultra Magnus and the crew that he's on, working in space for the Autobots. And they're currently like on a mission to find Alpha Trion. So
Alpha, oh man,
he's going missing. And it's all bad for him right now.
I think a lot of people say that almost every Wednesday. All right.
Yeah, right. It's getting like that. Every Wednesday feels like it's a punch in the wallet.
Moving on to Dynamite. I don't even know why we do Dynamite. We know what's going to be here. We're going to have 250 copies of Red Sonja and Vampirella and things like that.
Yeah, well, actually, Dynamite let us off the hook a little easy this week. Really, you've got, as far as new issues, A Clash of Kings #8 right there.
Yeah.
Which is
now is it Game of Thrones like this, or is this like one? Is this like in a like a 1 in 5 or something crazy, or is that just how it's coming, just like that?
I'm gonna be honest. I don't know. I'm done with Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
After the last season, I'm done with Game of Thrones. I want nothing else to do with it. I'm good. So.
But this is one that you're picking up for sure.
No, I'm not picking it up at all. I'm done with Game of Thrones.
Perfect.
Moving on.
That's something else. Red Sonja.
Actually, I just haven't picked it up because I've read the books and watched the TV series, so I'm pretty much, as far as I'm aware, I know this story. It's just not another one that I need to pick up in a different format. It could be different, but I've got plenty of other things to read. Now, if you are a hardcore, diehard fan of Game of Thrones, this is probably something that you would want to pick up then.
We're going to get into Boom right now.
Yeah. Oh, and the other issue was Vampirella Red Sonja #11, and there was 70 covers of that issue.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, man. Like I've yet to meet somebody who buys them, or like there's that many covers. Like I haven't seen it yet, so I don't know. But I'm sure there's people out there, because
I would pick up maybe potential keys for the series. Like I picked up one, Trial of the Soul or something like that I read in the solicitations had a first appearance, but that was the whole reason that I picked it up.
Oh man, Aggressive Relaxing is saying the best current Transformers is obviously Transformer teams up with My Little Pony. Oh man, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure how, but somehow that series seems to be a hit.
Seems like a lot of people are agreeing with you, man. Hyper saying, I'm with you, FaceTime. Game of Thrones took a nosedive in season 8. Game of Thrones is kind of okay. I watched it with my dad, and he loved it, but I was like, meh.
Yeah, I mean, the early seasons were amazing, and even into the later seasons, it was still pretty good. That last season was just a fucking dumpster fire.
Wow, once you get that successful and, everybody's like kind of just waiting on everything you do, you're kind of like, they can probably do whatever they want.
It also sounded like a lot of it had to do with the fact that the creative team that was behind it essentially knew that that was Game of Thrones last season, and they were moving on to do Star Wars: The Mandalorian, and that was kind of where their focus had shifted. They just kind of rushed out the last season of Game of Thrones to just get through it.
Yeah. Just like most of my projects.
Which, I mean, I guess with the trade-off of getting the Mandalorian, I'm okay with it because Mandalorian's great.
That
At least the first season. So
I haven't seen it yet. I'm gonna have to check it out. Transformers are
you
awesome.
haven't seen the Transformers animated movie from?
Yeah, somebody said it was badass. Justin said it was badass. I haven't seen it though.
Oh man, you need to watch that movie.
Yeah, I honestly haven't sat down and watched like Netflix or.
Were you a fan of Transformers as a kid?
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. I was more Ninja Turtles.
Well, that movie would have fucking ruined your childhood, so you should definitely watch it.
So going on to Boom, we got Angel and Spike, number 15. You got 2 covers here, or you got 3 covers, my mistake. I'm probably not going to pick up any of them. Not really following the story, so I can't even comment on it.
I mean, Buffy is doing really well over there at Boom. They've got several different series running, so there's clearly a market for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially if they're putting out 3 covers.
Yeah, there's at least 3.
If I had to pick one that I would buy, I'd probably go with number B. Or cover B, not number B.
Number B. Yeah, no, I like it. Number B.
For those of you taking math, B is not a number. Okay. But yeah, I'm probably gonna pass. It's not something I want. Let's see here. We got Mega Man Fully Charged, number 3. You got a variant.
Yeah, that's actually been a fun series so far. I've been picking it up. But I like Mega Man, so.
Yeah, you got Once and Future, number 9, second printing. I didn't even know.
I'm not sure why that random ass issue was getting a second printing, but yeah, okay.
Yeah. I think another one that's going to be very popular this week with a lot of people is the Power Rangers. So you got Power Rangers, Dak and New Dawn, number 3, the foil variant.
Obviously I'm following this series, and it's the final issue in this series, so you're going to see the typical Power Rangers wrap up. But there was a looming background presence in a character called Dark in this series that has not shown up in the first 2 issues, and probably is going to. I don't know. I kind of feel like it's going to be more of one of those things where I don't even necessarily know if that particular character is going to show up in the 3rd issue. I feel like he's going to end up being more like a Lord Zed for this Power Rangers universe, which is actually separate from the regular Power Rangers universe.
Yeah.
But he's going to be like that kind of a character, so I feel like I don't think they're going to give us that reveal yet. I think they're going to drag that out for a little while. And it makes sense because it builds up for whatever the next series is going to be. And there's going to be at least another series coming from this because we haven't seen Dark Spectre yet.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. I think these have been such a big hit, these covers, that I feel like this one's I haven't collected any of the other ones because I don't really collect Power Ranger comic books. But like even me, like I'm thinking, like when I came across this one the other day, I was like, yeah, this one's badass, and it's probably going to be
the Lord Draken helmet there. So
yeah, you do have another Power Ranger, Sins of Future Origin, but that's just like graphic novel.
Yeah, well, actually, now this one's a graphic novel, but there is importance on this because from what I was reading in the solicitations of it or the previews of it, it sounds like there's going to be a first appearance in this graphic novel too.
There's going to be.
I'm not sure if that's a character that's going to translate over into any of the other series or not. But as you know, since I'm a Power Rangers fan, I'm picking it up.
The ones on the cover here, this is Power Rangers Time Force, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Time Force.
Okay. See, I'm not that old. Let's see here. We got Unkindness of Ravens, number 2. You got 2 covers. I'm probably not going to pick up either or. The story doesn't appeal to me.
I'm continuing on with it. It was a good first issue. It was pretty solid, and it was interesting enough that I want to see where it goes. it falls in line with another series that will actually be coming out this week. That we're gonna have to talk about separately because it's in some weird ass spot in previews. But another series that was coming out called The Autumnal. They're very similar. In that again there's horror Halloween releases, and they have the strong female lead. So, but both of them, the first issue was great, and I'm picking up both of the second issues. I want to see where the story goes
Yeah,
with them.
same.
They're completely different premises, but
Kid Collector's with you. He's saying he can't wait to read Unkindness of Ravens #2, issue #1.
yeah, I don't want to spoil. Like, I don't want to spoil too much, but basically, there's a girl that goes to a new school, and she happens to look just like a girl from that school that recently went missing, and she gets mixed up with some witches and stuff like that. So,
Wow. Okay, I could totally see that being optioned or something because just
right, yeah, it's definitely got that kind of like
yeah.
that kind of vibe to it.
How has nobody done that already? Actually, like that's my thought process there with that. It's like, how has nobody done that already? All right. Well, hey,
Yeah.
there you go. Yeah. So some insight. There you go. Wind #5 of 5. So the run is officially over. I'm not gonna lie. I haven't picked up any of the Wind books like that.
I've actually picked up all of them. I've been on a series. It's James
Yeah.
Tynion, who's one of my favorite writers. The first, I will be the first one to tell you, the first issue was very, I guess, slow is the right word. It was very character development heavy and whatnot. But the story has picked up since then. On the cover there, you've got the Bandaged Man, who's like the main protagonist of the series, and there's definitely some interesting reveals about him with the series. And this series is ending at 5, but it feels like there's more story to come.
To come, yeah.
Yeah, I believe there's going to be future series from James Tynion in this world that he's building.
I just want to take a second to say hey to Titus. What's going on, brother? Thank you for joining. Titus is one of the good guys in the community, always checking out everybody's stuff. So I appreciate it, brother. I know we're on opposite time, so it is what, 10 a.m. there. So yeah, that's awesome, man. Thanks for tuning in. We're gonna get into DC now. Just
Before we jump into DC, there's a couple other ones that were in. There's another area of previews that covers the more, like, I guess, separate independents, which on that note, I want to say that, maybe not all of these should get their own section, but Vault should definitely get their own little section at this point. And as far as that goes, they've got Autumnal #2 coming out, and they also have a second printing of the #1 issue coming out for the Autumnal. There's a regular cover and a foil cover, so if you're interested in that series or whatever, that's probably worth picking up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Another one that I didn't know about, but I saw a cover that was kind of interesting, was Dryfoot #1. There's a second printing that's coming out from it. It's from Mad Cave Studios. There's a second printing, and it's actually got a Scarface homage cover. So if you're a fan of Scarface,
who isn't a fan of Scarface? He's one of the most iconic characters ever. You got an Italian man trying to play a Cuban guy.
Exactly. So, Scarface fan, definitely you want to try and pick that cover up if you can find it. I mean, it's a second print on a series that, yeah. But
it's always funny because I went to a high school that was predominantly Latino / Italian, and there was always, and when I went to school, guys, I mean, cell phones were around, like the big ass ones, but like you didn't really need a cell phone. Like I remember getting a cell phone in grade 9, and I was like so pissed. I was like, well, why is this one?
You had a pager.
Like, yeah, like I never used it. I'm like, why would my parents buy this for a birthday gift? Like this is stupid. And social media wasn't around, but I remember like one of the biggest arguments that and kids actually fought over. Okay, it was like Latino versus Italian, but like the Italians like, no man, like he's an Italian guy playing an Italian, and like the Spanish guys would be like, no man, he is Italian, but like he's playing a Cuban guy in the movie. Like in the movie, he's supposed to be Cuban. And it was just always like a
Yeah.
fight. Remember, it's funny because like I'll see some of the guys I went to high school with, and like me being a devil's advocate, I'll always be like, hey, remember that time you fought so and so because you thought Scarface was Italian? And they'd be like, oh yeah, haha. It's just something.
Right.
It's always so funny, man. It's so dumb when
Right.
you're young, right? When you're young.
Actually, that comment that you just had up there, like Hyper Combo was saying, the Win series, when it was originally supposed to come out, was to be a graphic novel. It was supposed to be all 5 issues in one graphic novel. But they changed it up, wanted to do something different with it, and that he's right. That probably did contribute a lot to the pacing problems that they had because it wasn't written for, issue to issue format. Usually when they write for issue to issue format, they give us something at the end of each issue that wants to pull you back in for whatever the next issue is going to be. And you really didn't get that as much with Win because it just wasn't written for that style. It was written as a larger story. So yeah,
Sorry.
and it did make, like, the first issue was man, the first issue was tough. Like, it really was. I debated very hard on whether I was going to continue with it. I ended up being glad that I did, but it took me till like issue 3 before I got that payoff where I was like, oh, okay, cool. Now this is getting interesting.
Yeah, I don't know if I would have stuck around. I really like this comic. It got to me.
And actually, before we continue on, I still got a couple more here.
Yeah, go ahead.
From Vault, you got a new series, Giga #1, that's coming out. It's gonna be, it looks like mech kaiju type thing. So if you're a fan of those type of stories, it's probably worth picking up. I'm gonna give it a shot, see how it goes, because there's plenty of stuff that's been coming out from Vault that's been phenomenal lately. Another one, Heavy #2, is coming out from Vault. The first issue was a fun read, and the twist at the end was awesome. So I'm definitely sticking with the Heavy series for now. It's a good read so far. It Eats What Feeds It #3 is coming out again from Vault. Another one of the new horror series that have just kind of started up, around this time. So it's only on issue #3. Heard great things about it so far. I have not picked it up yet, but it sounds like one that I would probably be interested in.
Yeah, Hyper and Kid are saying that they've heard really good things and they're debating picking it up. There's a one.
Yeah, Giga sounds like it's going to be pretty fun. So
is it a #1? You said?
Yeah, it's the first issue of it.
Okay, I'll probably pick it up just because you know what? So many people, you guys are all talking about it. I think I might do it. I don't know.
I mean, it's definitely worth taking a look at. I mean, it's first issue, so
exactly. So I'll be able to,
why not give it a shot?
Exactly. Yeah.
Pick up something new and check it out, and maybe you'll like it.
Yeah, absolutely. Do we want to go DC or do we want to go Marvel?
We can go ahead and grab DC if you want to go ahead and do that.
Yeah, let's do it. What's that site again?
League of Comic Geeks.
League of Comic. Man, what the hell?
This is just a lack of preparation, man.
No, I thought I had it. Like, ready to go.
I know what happened.
League of Comic Geeks. Yeah, what the hell?
There you go.
My things should be there already. Oh right? My God, are you fucking kidding me?
Man, what did you do? You signed out and everything.
There we go. We're good. All right. Dun, 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 dun.
All right. New this week, and then you can filter to just DC.
Boom, 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 boom. All right, so we got DC. We got Detective Comics 1029.
Yeah, and this is to be the first appearance of that character on the front right there, called the Mirror. Chip Tomasi took over this Detective Comics here a little while back, and so far he's basically been writing Joker War tie-in. So this is pretty much going to be the first real issue of him sort of breaking out onto his own storyline and what he's doing in Detective Comics.
Like Face said, it's the first appearance. So, okay, Face, you know me, I'm not really deep into DC. Is this the first appearance plus the first cover appearance, or has he already shown up in another book and this is just a cover?
No, this is going to be his first appearance and his first cover, as far as I'm aware. Now there is another character called the Mirror, that has been in Batman before. I don't remember where they came in at or what issue it was, but this is a completely different character.
Dun, dun, dun. Chip Thomas. Too many new characters in Batman.
Yeah, it does seem like there's a new character coming out almost every week in Batman anymore.
I agree with that, man. 100% agree with that statement. Oh man, I got to take these off again. Jeez. Okay, maybe I won't click on them.
Yeah, maybe just keep them up there or something.
We got Flash 764. It almost looks
Flash 764. Like I actually fell off of the Flash after Josh Williamson went over to write Justice League. I'm not sure. The solicitation for like the first issue after Josh Williamson left said something about some shit having to do with the Flash's uniform ring, and I just couldn't get on board with it. I was like, yeah, I'm done. I'm good. Yeah. I'll pass. So I couldn't tell you anything about the Flash run right now.
We got Action Comics 1026.
Yeah, and in the solicitations you get that Jimmy Olsen is going to be the new owner of the Daily Planet. So yeah, that's
fucking DC.
He's somehow, they did something in the comics where he's somehow related to Lex, I think it is, or something like that, and he gets a piece of that action, and yeah, Jimmy's got all the money now.
I'm done with Flash. Yep, I'm done with Flash. Finally a Flash cover where he's not running.
Yeah. I've been off Flash since Josh Williamson left. Once he left, I was like, okay, yeah, I'm good.
Now Lasso's in here, so it's only fitting. Wonder Woman 765.
And I'm actually on board with the current run, man. The Liar Maxwell Lord stuff. I've been enjoying it so far. So I'm continuing on with that story arc, and like, if they give a good resolution to it, I might continue on further with it. It's been a long time since I've been on Wonder Woman run.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to pass and just put that $4 in my Tales of Suspense 39 fund.
Right, I don't think you're not gonna make any money off the issue or anything. I don't think there's anything key about it.
No, but yes, I'm not a huge Wonder Woman. I mean, like, I like the movie and things like that. If she asked me to go on to a dinner date, I'd probably say yes. Things like that.
I'm sure you would.
I'm not, and it's just me. I don't know. I'm not into the run, so I'm probably gonna pass on the book. Yeah. Batman 3 Jokers #3. I feel like a lot of people will be picking this one up. Is there going to be multiple covers of this Two-Face? Like when?
Yeah, of course. You're going to have the 5 different. I guess the 5 different regular covers. There's a 1 in 25, a 1 in 100, and I believe it's a 1 in 450 for this.
A issue. 1 in 450.
A 1 in 450. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's but I mean, it's wrapping up the 3 Jokers, and I agree with Coco so far. It's exhausting. I've said it before. I don't feel like the Joker is a character that needs validations, or motivations, or any of that shit. He's always just been a character that's supposed to just do shit because he's crazy, and the current need to validate it and whatnot in all of media is just ridiculous to me.
Yeah, absolutely. I absolutely agree with you, man. And it is exhausting because, you put so many covers and you put all this stuff out, and then people just, it's one of those things, you see it too much or whatever, and then it loses its value, it loses its lust, right? And Joker's one of those iconic villains. I mean, everyone knows I'm more Marvel, but I mean, I love Joker. He's arguably, if not first, my second favorite villain of all time. He's up there in everybody's top 20 of characters to begin with, whatever you're in. So like, I don't know. It's exhausting.
Man, I'm gonna get the 3rd issue. I've been on it, and I'm getting the 1 in 25 so that I have it set. Joker's one of my favorite characters, probably my favorite character. Yeah. But yeah. I just, yeah, it feels like it's a series that is essentially trying to validate why the Joker's crazy, and I don't want or need that. So, that's just my personal opinion, though.
Hey,
I
but my
It's just
girlfriend
because
has
I
the
personally
exact
don't
same
enjoy the story.
weapon, man. So yeah, I think I'm just used to it. I am like the worst liar. I am the worst poker player. When I'm lying, I give it away. Like I just laugh and I can't look. I'm like, and it's just something, I guess that's a positive. I don't know. I'm a terrible liar. So I just
So
try not.
definitely play poker with newbie
Yeah,
every chance possible.
yeah. Batgirl 50. I feel like this is a big book, correct?
Yeah, so this is big because, well, if you've been following the run, Barbara Gordon is going back into the Oracle identity, and you're going to have a new Batgirl taking over. Given what was going on in the series, I kind of had thoughts that they were going to bring Cassandra Cain back into that role, or possibly Stephanie Brown, because them grabbing the bat symbol on their uniform. But as it turns out, it sounded like they are bringing in, for her first appearance in the last issue of this current run, and I'm sure she'll get her own rebooted run, the Ryan Wilder character that they're going to be using for the CW TV show now
Yeah,
that Ruby Rose is leaving.
yeah. And
Which,
Hyper, yeah.
man,
Yeah,
I just keep thinking about it, and I remember watching the beginning of that show, and wasn't it Batwoman? It's not Batgirl, it's Batwoman is
yeah,
the
it's
show, right?
Batwoman. It's Batwoman.
Okay. I just
Yeah.
wanted to make sure that I was not losing my shit on that. So
Yeah, Ruby Rose, like, yeah, that fucked that up. But
yeah, it definitely it definitely didn't help that series. But there's a lot of excitement around the new character that's going to be playing Batgirl. So see how it turns out.
we have Red Hood Outlaw number 50.
Yeah, and this is a changeover for the creative team. I think there's going to be maybe some delay in the next issue coming out or something like that. But Scott Lobdell is leaving the series. Um,
Which one is Justin talking about here? The Middleton.
yeah, I think he's talking about the Batgirl, and
Oh,
I believe it is.
yeah, it is. It is.
Yep.
Yeah, it's Batwoman. Not feeling Batgirl. Yeah. We got Justice League Dark number 27.
Yeah, Justice League Dark. It's from the solicitations. It sounds like you're getting some kind of a shakeup with the team. Maybe there's going to be a roster change.
So we could see new characters.
Yeah.
You're thinking, or can
It's possible. There could be. I don't know. I don't necessarily know if it's going to be a new character, but you may see some new people join the team, or you may see some old members leave the team. You just get the feeling from the solicitation that it's going to be some kind of a roster shakeup.
So not a bad book to get, especially if you're more on, say, the investment side of things, or like just kind of trying to flip something for a first appearance or something like that. Not.
Yeah, well, I don't think you're going to put your kid through college with it or
No,
anything
no, no,
like
no,
that.
no,
But
not at all.
if it is a new team, you could maybe get a couple bucks out of it.
You buy the book for $5. I mean, look at what was it, the new Cat Girl, right? I mean, I bought the book for $4 or $5, and then I ended up selling 2 copies for 25, right? Like, so.
Yeah, but that was more because of people wanting to fuck with Snowflame than this new Catgirl character. Nobody gave a shit about Catgirl.
No,
They
nobody.
were like, "Oh my god, Snowflame's coming back. Let me buy it up."
Absolutely. Batman Superman 13. Probably not getting it. I don't really get a lot of DC.
I bet I've gotten every issue of Batman Superman so far, and with Joshua Williamson writing it, I feel like it should be building to something, and it does have the feel that it is, but I have no fucking idea what it's building to right now. Like, there's no coherent uh, it's kind of jumping around with story arcs, and I'm hoping that there's going to be some tie together later.
So funny that you say that, Justin, because we're reaching that side of the book. So I'll get back to that one, but we got Batman Beyond number 48.
Yeah, and this is going to be the beginning of what is going to be the final arc for this series. The series is ending at issue 50, and this is going to be your last little 3-series arc. It sounds like Bruce Wayne is losing his shit and Breaking Bad.
That's pretty funny. Justin
Right?
made a comment of
Just the way you knew it was going to end.
Yeah. Justin made the comment that he hears that there's a first appearance in Rise of the New God #1. Can you confirm? Do you know? Have you heard anything?
Yeah, it's very possible, man. There's been like a fucking new appearance of a different Batman or some shit in every one of these issues, so probably accurate. But yeah, if you're on the death metal series, it's it's obviously one that you want to get as a tie-in.
It looks almost like a venomized Catwoman, venomized Black Panther, Catwoman, right there. I don't read the run, so I'm not trying to be disrespectful or not know the character, but just from far away from the cover, that's just kind of what it looks like.
Yeah, I like it. It's actually a pretty dope A cover. The 1 in 25 Boss Logic variant though is
just
getting
sold for $100
prices.
on eBay.
Yep. Yeah, it's getting ridiculous prices already.
Whatever happened to never going over the ratio? Whatever happened to
I don't know, but I got it for ratio, so I'm considering throwing it on eBay.
Right, man. That's insane. All right, so that's it for DC. We're going to move on to Marvel and then some spec. So.
Oh, actually, yeah, Justin Wilder just said the Key Collector's reporting it. It's a character called the Chronicler. I believe I did read that on Key Collector earlier, that it said that there was going to be that first appearance coming. Which is probably, I think it's going to be some kind of a evil Batman, I would assume.
So Comic Jump is saying, with the DC soft reboot nearing, I heard to expect a Marvel reboot shortly after. Opinion of an old local comic shop owner.
Yeah, it wouldn't be too surprising to see that, because I mean they do have a history of within a short period of time, you see them kind of going through similar cycles. It may not be happening right at the same time, but the companies both definitely do. You'll see one have a reboot, and it won't be very long before you'll see.
Okay. Hold on a sec. Let's get back to this. Okay, so Justin says there's one appearance. Bricks is saying there's 3.
That's right. Okay, so
whoa.
I'm not sure about the 3 first appearance. There very well could be. There could be more than that. I mean, again, with Scott Snyder writing these and the way that he likes to throw evil Batman out there, I mean, you could see 20 of them in this. So it's hard, there's no calling it with any of these issues. Whoever is creating evil Batman for them has a ridiculous imagination and can just mash these characters together and make them look dope every time. But as far as the Chronicler that they're talking about, they were saying that it resembles the Cosmic Ghost Rider.
That's what Justin
said. From Donny Cates.
Bring it up. I apologize, Justin, but yeah, Justin had said that.
Yeah, which I guess is furthering speculation into the whole crossover series and whatnot. But don't forget, they've already done in the course of this series a Judge Dredd Batman. There was another Batman that was like pretty direct reference to a Marvel character. I forget which one it was. So the fact that they're making a Cosmic Ghost Rider Batman or whatever, I maybe reading into the fact that it could be alluding to something more in that crossover series coming out from Image might be hopeful.
It's true, but I mean,
just there hasn't been a whole lot of indication that that series is actually going to cross over between Marvel and DC. It could allude to a lot of things, or maybe make reference to, but as far as actual crossing over, I don't know, and I'm just not sure that either DC or Marvel. I mean, how are you going to get all 3 of those fucking companies to work together? You know what I mean? Like, even with Donny Cates right now, how are you going to get all 3 of those companies to work together? It seems like a leap.
I was just looking up that book that Manny told me to look up that Mel V had posted.
Hmm.
I got to do more research. So if Manny, if you're still in here, I just DM'd you. We can talk, yeah, because I got some thoughts, I got some questions. So yeah, we can talk later. One of the nicest guys in the comic community, sir. Thank you so much for joining. Panda, what's going on, brother? Thank you for joining. Punch, another one of the nicest guys in the community. Thank you for joining, brother. Yeah. Let's finish off with Marvel and then let's get into the spec stuff. I'm probably gonna get that New Gods now. Knowing that
Yeah.
there
Oh,
might be that
and
rumor 3, maybe a cameo. You know, it's like Faye said. You know that run has just been really good anyway. So yeah, I'm
yeah, it's
probably
definitely been a good story, and you've seen numerous first appearances. As far as how much they're going to take off after the series, though, uh, I I would feel more confident about like the Robin King than I probably would any of the other characters as far as having any type of longevity.
yeah. All right, so we got Spider-Man number 51. I believe it says last. So is that
Yeah, this is going to be the LR issue, the Last Remains issue. Um, with so far, I feel like I need to knock on wood to say it, but so far I have not hated this storyline. It's actually been all right so far.
yeah?
And for as much as and as long as the run has been drug out, it's surprising that it's actually decent. I guess I'm surprised that it's decent anyway, but so far I like this story. Uh, but man, it's hard to put a whole lot of faith in it at this
Yeah.
point.
It's another Black Widow Windows. I know Lasso was kind of he had his tongue twisted on this one, but yeah, Black Widow Windows Sting number 1. Probably
Yeah,
gonna pass
you got
on
your
this
tongue
one.
twisted on it too.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna pass on this one.
Yeah, it sounds like this is a one shot, standalone flashback type story for her.
I think a book that a lot of people like Fantastic Four and Theseus. Number 2, it had that first appearance. They're doing a second printing of Neil Adams variant for that book, and then also the number 3 comes out this week. So not a bad combo to get if you're into the run. A few people I know that started reading it said good things about it. I have not read it. I didn't even pick up. I think my number 1 and number 2 are still at my shop in my pull box. I haven't.
Well, I got both of mine. It's been pretty decent so far. It's not like in the solicitations for it, you're getting the character, the Mr. Galactic or whatever from Mr. Fantastic, getting the powers of Galactus or some shit like that. And more than likely, that's going to happen in this issue. But I don't think this is an in continuity story
Yeah,
because it sounds like in this continuity, this antithesis is who killed Galactus, and we're all well aware of the fact that Thor just killed Galactus. So
exactly.
it's got to be some kind of like an Elseworlds type story, something like that.
Coco's asking, second printing is the first full cover app, right? I believe so. Was it?
For antithesis,
Yeah.
I think he was on the first printing.
I thought it was the second.
I know there was at least an exclusive that had him on it for the number 2 first printing.
Hmm. Speaking of,
I actually don't remember what was on the cover.
yeah, I can't remember. Speaking of and Fantastic Four and Theseus, we got one of those timeless variants from Alex Ross, and it's the Medusa one. I can see a
Yeah,
lot
which
of
is an interesting choice to put on there because she's had nothing to do with anything in this story so far.
no, exactly.
But I guess why not?
Yeah, I mean, it's not the worst one I've seen, to be honest with you. Will I get it? Probably not. I don't really. I don't know. Just not one for me, I guess.
Yeah, like comic jump there said it was a Fantastic Four 49 homage that they did for number 2 or yeah.
Yeah, that was the last, or that's
where
the
they put antithesis in place of Galactus. So
So we got our Hulk stuff, Immortal Hulk number 39, and then you got the Bennett spoiler variant. If it comes
another
like
spoiler
this,
variant on a Hulk
if it
issue,
comes
and
like
we're
this,
getting another spoiler on issue 40.
but is it
So
like that though? Like I'm
no, it does not.
okay,
That's just a stock image to not show you the spoiler.
okay, because I was just getting flashbacks at like Venom 26 with like when they did those, like Wednesday for sale things. It's like, oh, come on, or the
Yeah,
top.
no, it's not like that at all. But the last one, the spoiler cover had it just ended up being, Devil Hulk on it. So it looks like the spoiler covers might be the the character maybe that the issue focuses on or whatever.
Medusa looks like most stuff.
So you might get Green Scar on this cover. I don't know. I'm guessing maybe number 40 Sasquatch.
Another timeless variant is the Shang-Chi one. Now, he's coming, obviously, like we know he's coming. So this might not be a bad one to pick up, especially if you're a fan of his. There's not much of him. So the fact that, they did a homage one says a
Yeah, I
lot.
mean you're getting the timeless variant on that, and it's the first fight between him and Sister Hammer, who is his sister or whatever. Uh, so and obviously there's the movie coming out, and it's just been announced that Shang-Chi is getting his own ongoing series after the miniseries, Legends of Shang-Chi. So I guess they felt confident enough in the sales of the for the miniseries to run a whole ongoing, which
Hmm.
is something that they haven't done in a very long time for Shang-Chi.
Panda, we talked about the last Ronin already because I was talking about these. So yeah, so we already touched on it. We usually just go in order, so I think you might have missed it. Maybe about like 10 minutes ago we touched on it, but I'll definitely check out your stuff. I know that we kind of went at the same time, so I'll definitely be checking out what you guys did for sure. Spider-Man Noir number 5 of 5. This must mean what? Oh, that the run is over. I didn't pick up any of these books. I think you can still pick up in my shops. Number 2, number 3, number 4, like they're still there.
Yeah, I didn't jump on this series either. It's just not one that I was interested in.
I just wrapped up filming for Shang-Chi. Oh, serious?
Yeah, yep. That's what they're saying. So I guess now it probably who fucking knows when they're gonna release the thing, but yeah,
Yeah,
at least they're
like,
done filming it. I mean, so that's a plus.
like we talked about last week, right, guys? Now there's big time reports saying that Black Widow is going to be released on Disney Plus at, I believe it's like $38 or $40 Canadian. I don't know what it is American, but I don't know how they're going to do it. But that's just a rumor. So yeah, it wouldn't be crazy. We'll get into like some movie stuff once we finish this and we get into our spec stuff. Spider Wars. Oh, let's try
Spider
it.
Wars.
I'm on Corona number 3, but I know my English is still good here. Star Wars Doctor Alpha number 5.
Let's go with Afro. We'll go with Afro.
Yeah. What's it called? I'm probably not going to pick this one up.
It's Star Wars, of course, so I'm on it. There's a really good Terry Dodson beat cover for this issue. I believe it's a beat cover. It might be an incentive, but I know there's a Terry Dodson cover. So if you're a fan of that one,
yeah, with Star Wars, there always seems to be more covers than we know of. To be honest with you,
yeah, I don't know why Previews does this with not showing all the covers.
No. Strange Academy 4. I talked about this earlier. This is probably going to be a hot book. They got a variant as well. I do prefer the variant, to be honest with you. I don't know why. I prefer this one over the cover A.
For sure. I mean, it's a hot series, and the character spotlight covers, which that one is, have been pretty good, for every issue. So
Now I'll grab the cover A because I want to be fair to the people that will probably pick up both. It is a white cover. You do have all the characters and things like that there. Just for whatever reason, obviously, my opinions are different than others. I just prefer the cover B. If this one's there, I wouldn't mind picking both up, but I'm not really like in a dying need to pick up both. What's it called?
Yeah, and it's sounding like if you look at like the new releases that come out on like the Key Collector app or whatever, they're saying that there could potentially be first appearances in this issue. I guess the kids have found some interdimensional doorways and they're playing a game of tag or something through them. So
multiverse? Huh.
yeah, exactly, right. Some multiverse stuff maybe going on. Yeah, it could get real interesting with stuff like that.
Okay. Honestly, yeah, go ahead. I am always about that. Usually I always finish the segment with letting my guests plug their stuff. And then I always say, guys, talk to each other, sub each other up, follow each other, and go support. I think
Definitely.
we're just, we're as strong as the community is. So why not have everybody follow and support everybody? So yeah, definitely put your stuff in, man. Or, man, lady, girl, whatever, anybody in here, absolutely put your stuff in. I always try to be politically correct. Always. I have 5 sisters.
There you go.
So,
of course.
What's it called? We have another timeless variant for Strange Academy number 4, and this is the Scarlet Witch one.
Right.
I
believe this is the last week for the timeless variants. So if you've been collecting to get all of them, you should be done after this week.
This one is like, I don't know. I feel like this one's just lazy. It's just like they got some girl to just stand there and be like, they're like, okay, Lisa, can you just like sit there for a second? And she's just like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I feel like this one is one of the, not the best one, a lazy one, to be honest with you. I don't know. I don't really like this one.
Well, I mean, what else are you gonna, get from the, Scarlet Witch?
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't like it. I don't know.
Yeah, I got I grabbed a certain number of the timeless variants that I was really interested in or that I really liked. I didn't go after all of them.
Yeah.
I seriously considered it though.
Yeah. There's a guy here actually. He asks all of us all the time when he sees it. He's like, "Hey man, you got any of the timeless ones?" And I'm like, "Nope, I don't." But he's collecting all of them. And he posts about it on his IG.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of people that have like almost a whole set at this point.
What's the total book at? There's like what, 25 of them in total?
I think there was 32.
32? Okay.
32 or 38 or something like that.
Yeah, I picked up this Doctor Strange. She got a resting witch face. Yeah, right? Like it's just, I don't know. It's just not, she's just kind of like, all right, I'll do this, like smile or something. I don't know. It's like when you do a passport photo, like you go in there with all this energy and they're like, no. Like just.
She wants to go back to the reality where Vision's alive and she's not crazy.
All right, guys. So we're kind of nearing down the end of Marvel before we get into our spec side, but we got X of Swords, Stasius 1. Is that how you pronounce that?
Yeah, X of Swords, Stasis number 1. I think it's part like 11.
Okay, and you got 2 covers. There's a variant.
Like
so the variant is this one right here. You got Apocalypse Storm. You got.
Now I personally think this is probably going to be the issue where you're going to see the reveal of the mystery character, and man, I keep seeing more and more reports that are saying that the mystery character, they believe it's going to end up being Storm because of the tarot card and the fact that half of it was a black woman. I personally don't think that's going to be who it is. I have a completely different theory. I think it's going to end up being the Genesis character, Apocalypse's wife. I don't think she's gone at all, but that's just my random ass guess.
Hey, that's at least you're making a guess. At least you're hey, that's the game, right?
Yeah, I just having Storm betray the X-Men feels like too much of a betrayal to the whole fucking, and I just can't see Hickman going that route. And really hope that he doesn't. So I think that it's going to end up being Apocalypse's wife, who at this point is supposed to be dead. But the only thing that they have telling us that she's dead is the bad guys. So
Yeah. And then you do have this one too, the Del Mundo variant. I love the way Psylocke looks in here. My God.
yeah,
Yeah,
there's several different variants coming out for it. So I'm sure you can find a copy that you'll like. I know they came out with one of the design variants for the first one, X of Swords Creation. There might be one coming out for this one.
yeah, it's dope. And I'm really enjoying the fact that everybody's posting their stuff and going to follow each other. Definitely do that. I am a big supporter of that. So yeah, so that's it for
Yeah,
Marvel.
thank you, Panda, for doing that for us.
Yeah, Panda's always the plug man. He's like the DJ at the club, you know? He's always doing everything.
Right? Always putting in work.
So we are gonna get out of there. We're gonna get out of there. So we're gonna get into the spec side of things. I enjoy it. This week mine is, well, you know what, Face, I'll let you go first, brother.
Okay, so this week, a few that I wanted to mention, we've actually talked about them before, but it feels like it would be a better time to or to talk about them again, in that, some of these books have they had heat on them for a period in time, and just given everything that's happened, and with COVID and stuff getting pushed back, and the way things have changed with release dates and everything, there's a lot of these books that have actually cooled off in price from where they were initially. And some of the books that you'd probably want to look at is like in regards to the Eternals, from their first series, any of the issues, number 1, 2, 3, number 5, I think was another one of the characters.
First
And I think,
Celestials, man. I think so many people are sleeping on that book. You
yeah,
can find
definitely.
that book very high grade for like $60 Canadian, maybe less. Like a lot of people are sleeping on it. Celestials
Right.
have,
Any of the early Eternal stuff,
yeah,
and because that Marvel is going heavy on the cosmic in the MC universe, because Kevin
yeah,
Feige enjoys it and wants to make that a big part of what they're doing, and the Celestials are key to that.
yeah,
Which
absolutely.
means
Yeah,
that everything that this Eternals movie is doing and bringing them into the MCU is going to be very important.
yeah, and I've talked about this. Well, we just did a Me Keys and Comic Night. Actually, it was an all Canadian lineup. We did a all cosmic talk last Thursday. If you haven't checked it out, definitely go check it out. Sandy basically just shows off every big book, comic, cosmic character related, but nevertheless was a good time. But I've made comments about this even when I first started off and when I was, talking to people. The cast of that Eternals movie is going to be around for a while. Like Eternals is going to be the next Guardians of the Galaxy. So you have to pick these books up now because they're going to be around. It's going to be a trilogy at least. Okay. They didn't get all those big names just to do one movie. There's no way. I don't believe it. I don't.
Right? Yeah, they didn't bring Angelina Jolie in with the intent to have her play
Yeah,
that character for one movie and call it a day.
exactly.
Now
So,
they did bring her in so that there is some of that big name,
exactly.
huge
There's
name
a
star
lot of
power
people.
on there. But I'm sure the intent is to wrap her up for at least 3 movies.
Mhm.
I'm
So
not sure what the specifics on the contracts are
yeah,
or anything like that,
no,
but
no.
you know they
But
want to keep her
we're
around.
talking cosmic, which a lot of people, are saying is true. I mean, obviously, who knows, right? But that's the part of the game. You spec, you guess, you things like that. It's supposed to be fun, but Celestials have a big, big part. So I mean, if you can still find
Yeah,
them,
and it touches on, and it branches out into so many other parts of the cosmic landscape.
yeah,
With you've seen, like in issue Venom 25 of that current run, you saw the venomized Celestial. That Null cut the head off of one and created Nowhere, that has essentially served as a base for Guardians of the Galaxy. Which ties that into everything that they've done, in the comic book universe and everything. And it feels like they want to go that same route in the movie universe, where they're tying it all together,
yeah.
and getting these characters to interact with each other because it sells.
So Panda, $60 Canadian is 45.50 American. So just food for thought, But you can get a very good 96
60.
raw basically for that price.
Yeah, right. I mean, that's exactly it. And a while back they were going for a good bit higher than that.
Yeah, absolutely. Fucking ridiculous.
So it's seeming like it's a better time to pick up some of the books that uh, people have not been scooping up as much recently because it kind of fell off. But grab them before the hype builds again
Yeah,
when these movies are getting ready to come out and you're actually starting to see the announcement of release dates and whatnot.
yeah. I've got a video that's dropping next week. I was gonna drop it today or tomorrow, but there's a little tweaks I have to do here and there. But it's basically a video of keys that are dropped right now in price and that you should be on the lookout for, because the way history goes with some books, but like big books, is when they go down, you want to pick them up because guess what? They does this.
Yeah, they'll
And
go back up eventually.
before COVID and before the Miles Morales hype, because let's face it, right? COVID hit and then Miles Morales basically took over. That's the only character that everybody was talking about. But two books that nobody talks about is Moon Knight and Eternal. And those were two of the hottest covers, hottest characters, things like that with the rumors before COVID hit. So, it wouldn't be a bad idea.
And what's funny actually about this is when I was initially looking through or for whatever to talk about for this, Moon Knight was one of the books that I was considering to mention on this, and they actually, I believe there was just an announcement of a casting.
Yeah, so I was talking
I would love to say Moon Knight, but if they just announced the casting, we're already too fucking late on that. So
yeah, I actually so I have this guy I follow. It's called the Nerdy Hub, and he is usually the guy that posts, and I post it. Like I don't take credit for it. I post his stuff on mine. So when you see the movie stuff, that's all credit to him. I don't know if he watches or whatever. It's just a guy I follow. He always posts it. I'll always post it because I notice that not a lot of people have the information yet. Like this guy's usually ahead of everybody. But yeah, Oscar Isaac, who actually played Apocalypse, has officially been cast as Mark Spector, aka Moon Knight, in the Disney Plus series. That is the important part right there. Series.
yeah.
So, not a movie, obviously. So we kind of know what happens. Now, I was super excited. I'm not going to lie to you. Before, like, I got excited. I got excited on the first couple words that I actually didn't find out that it was a series until like hours later, when like I cooled down and I was like, oh shit, and then I was like, oh wait, it's series, right? Like I got so excited just in they casted him as Moon Knight, period, and then I stopped like reading because I was so excited.
Right.
I don't know. I kind of have a bad feeling with this. I think Moon Knight should be a movie, not a series.
You know what? I gotta actually disagree with you on that.
Really?
I'm on the opposite end. I think that Moon Knight is one of those characters I would rather have them have a series than to have a movie. Because, like, okay, for instance, like Black Widow to me is a character that would be great for her movie and everything. Like, yeah. I think they'll do a pretty good movie. I think it'll be a good 2 hours, but I'm not going in there expecting that I'm going to end up with a trilogy of Black Widow movies or anything like that. Sell a good movie, tell a good story, and move on, because that's the kind of character that is that you've got, and you're going to see her in all these other places. Moon Knight, yeah, you'll get that character possibly in the Avengers or other places, but to actually feature on the personality or personalities of that character, and to really delve into who Mark Spector is and what makes him tick and why the fuck he's crazy, I feel like you just need more time with that series than the 2 hours that you'd get with a movie. And even in other appearances, you're not going to see, them jump into that as much. I mean, they'll give it some minor attention so that that he's, got multiple personalities or whatever, but they're not really going to get into it.
Yeah.
in if it
No,
shows up in the Avengers or
I
whatever.
100% agree with that. I actually kind of didn't I didn't look at it like Louis saying, yeah, like every episode could be a display of each of his personalities. Absolutely. You know
Right,
what? I don't
exactly.
really think about it like that. The way I'm thinking about it is historically, and correct me. Like it's my opinion, guys. Like I'm not saying I'm right, I'm wrong. Like I'd love to hear. I'm one of those people. I'm old school. I think there's multiple ways of doing something. There's not always just one way. I always like getting feedback. If you disagree with me, I don't take it to heart. When someone disagrees or says no to something and then gives a different view, I always take it, in a positive way.
Oh,
Um,
sure.
I feel like a lot of people think like this, and sometimes you just have to take this off and just kind of, look around. But I just feel like, and again, it's just my opinion. When it comes to series and shows, I just think that they do a bad job. So, like, I don't want them to ruin this character because this is a character a lot of people have been waiting 10 plus years to see, and now we're finally getting.
Yeah.
So I don't want them to screw it up in like a show because I I'm not comparing Moon Knight to like Iron Fist or anything like that or Luke Cage, but like I mean, look at where those characters, like like I just think of that, like
Well, yeah, and that's understandable. And completely reasonable. But the difference between Moon Knight and those shows, so while there wasn't, I loved shows like Daredevil and Jessica Jones, and I even liked Luke Cage. Iron Fist, I thought it was decent. I didn't enjoy it as much as the other ones, but I didn't hate it. That being said, they were done by Marvel Television, which is no longer a thing. They've absorbed that whole. I guess like they were separated from Marvel Studios at one point in time, and now Marvel Studios has basically absorbed Marvel Television in, and so basically everything's going through Kevin Feige now. Where those series didn't really do that before. So I think you're going to see more attachment to the actual Marvel Cinematic Universe
yeah.
in any of the new television shows that they do.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be like the Netflix stuff. I think that they're gonna put way more, detail and action and thought and all that. I don't think they're gonna put out a product that sours anything. You know what I mean? Because like I know what you're saying. I
Right.
think I just missed it, but somebody had put. Oh, Louis, perfect. Yeah, Disney shows intertwine with the MCU too. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We haven't seen
Exactly.
any of the shows, right? Like we're still waiting. So
Yeah, I
I
mean
think that's
there
it.
was some loose there was some loose ties in the shows that they've done in the Netflix shows. I think they mentioned in a couple of shows about the attack on New York, and then obviously like Agents of Shield had a little bit more tie-in to the MCU,
Yeah.
but even Agents of Shield toward the end went completely separate from the MCU. And with any of the new shows that you're not going to see that separation at all. It's going
Yeah.
to be pretty heavily tied in with the MCU, and that's
The one,
everything basically after Hellstrom, I guess.
yeah, I think we're just gonna have to wait and see what the first show is. I think the first show up is
Either
one
WandaVision or
Winter Soldier.
Captain, or
Yeah,
I mean, Winter Soldier and Falcon, one of those
and
two.
Falcon. Yeah, so like I don't know. Both of them obviously have ties. They've said that they have tie-ins to the MCU. Maybe that's why we're waiting on them. You know what I mean? Because it's not like it's not like a movie's coming out anytime soon because of COVID or anything like that. So I think that's why the wait is. But yeah, I don't know, I was expecting it to be a movie, but now with like this conversation here and everybody in the chat saying that,
Mhm.
I would rather a character like this who has all these personalities. Yeah, I could definitely see it being every episode being kind of like a different personality and things like that. Because I just talked to two guys. They were new collectors. They didn't know anything about Moon Knight. They didn't even know he had
Mhm.
different personalities. They thought he was Batman. He's like, no. He's basically like Batman. I'm like,
Yeah, yeah. A lot of people have that perspective of Moon Knight that he's essentially Marvel's Batman because originally he was written more as like a Batman ripoff, but that's like Deadpool. That character has taken on a life entirely its own.
the comic jump is saying, in his opinion, the What If. Now those are animated. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Man, that the What If series in itself opens up a lot of potential.
I'm trying to think of the one they already leaked, saying that the one that they're gonna do, like some of the episodes. So one of them was because I talked about it. I talked about it like 3 weeks ago, where I said if you haven't picked up that Exiles, I think it's Exiles 3. That is the first time Peggy Carter is Captain America, and that was
Yeah.
kind of the book that people were trying to get for that episode of the What If. Again, you're not going to put your kid through college in that book, but at one point in time, you could pick that book up for $5 to $10, and it was selling for like 30 to 40. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
Right.
it's not a bad
Yeah, the
book.
What If show is going to be. I think the What If show is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. And just yeah, Justin, you got a lot of good info, man. I really enjoy seeing your comments pop up, man. Yeah, the Disney Plus shows are gonna be Easter egg shows.
Right. Essentially, we're going to be watching these, hour-long commercials for
I'm just picturing like all those
the
guys that
greater MCU.
pause it like every 2 seconds. Like I have a buddy who's like, no, we gotta pause it, and then it's like, oh my god.
Yeah, you're gonna be watching it, being like, what's that in the background? Is that the
Like,
cosmic cube, or is it, fucking
yeah,
an
why
ultimate
don't you
nullifier?
watch it once, and then you watch and pause whatever you want the next time. Fuck, I hate that. Like you'll be like, oh, pause. We gotta pause. Hold on. Turn the light on. I can't see the TV. What do you think that is? Man, I don't know. It's like the first scene. I don't know. I don't even know what's going on.
Taking you 5 minutes to get through the opening.
Yeah, it's like fuck. Just like, you know what? My girlfriend is like that too. God bless her soul. She is not into the comics. She supports me in the comics. She, a lot of you guys know she would always, when I would say, oh, I'm not buying a book, she'd be like, no, go buy a book, things like that. She watches the Marvel movies with me. But when we sit and we watch the movie, my God, like I have to pause it every like 5 seconds. Who's that? Wait, I thought he died. No, is she good? Wait, I thought she was bad. Wait, isn't she? Oh my
Right.
God. Like, and I know she's sleeping right now, so she won't hear this part, but
She's gonna catch it on the replay though.
yeah, she could. All right, so more spec. Do you have anything else?
Yeah. Oh, yes, I do actually. So yeah, we got sidetracked there a little bit.
Yeah, sorry, I apologize. That was my bad.
No, you're all good. So another character that has kind of fallen out of attention, as far as the prices on the books themselves go, is Yelena Belova and Taskmaster, and we know that the Black Widow movie's coming soon. But right now, the prices on Inhumans 5, the first appearance of Yelena Belova, Avengers 196, first appearance of Taskmaster, and even like Black Widow #1 from the 1999 series. That's the first mention of the Red Room. You can pick those up for a lot lower than you were able to pick them up a couple months ago, whenever there was a lot of heat on it because release dates had been announced and everything like that before them getting pushed back for the 80th time. And the last one that I got would be Kate Bishop, Hawkeye. Another one. She's kind of fallen out of favor.
Yep.
Attention's off of her. So Young Avengers #1 is still kind of a hot book just based on the whole Young Avengers heat in itself that it gets. But Young Avengers #6, the first time that she wears a costume. #12, where she's first called Hawkeye, and then the Hawkeye series from 2012, 1 and 2, seeing those first 2 issues, seeing her team up with Clint, her father, the first 2 times. All good quality key books to have that you could pick up for lower prices right now.
I totally agree with that one because I remember the hype that one had for a while, and then it just went quiet.
Yeah, I mean, it got so big when they announced the casting of Haley Steinfeld or whatever, and then it so quickly just people forgot about it. It was like a week that it was on fire.
I just grabbed the full Inhuman series for 85 Canadian 2 weeks ago.
So where is Panda still in chat? Because I'm gonna need him for the conversion on that.
That 85 Canadian, 85 Canadian would be about.
Well, he got $60 at $10 US, or $60 Canadian at $10 US. So I want his conversion. Fuck what yours is.
So hold on. So yeah, but Hyper's Canadian. So 85 Canadian. 85 Canadian is, I got it right here. Yes, I said 60. So $64.
But according to Panda, his calculations, I'm giving like $14 for that book, and I want to go with that.
Yeah,
That's a better price for me.
I know a lot
Josh,
of
what's
people
good?
are still I know a lot of people are still talking about Moon Knight and things like that. So why don't we come back? Face has just finished his spec, so let me just put out a few books of mine, a few specs of mine, and then if you guys want to continue talking Moon Knight, I have no problem with it.
For sure.
Hawaiian Punch. Yeah. Yes, man.
He's not wrong.
What's it called? Panda says 85 Canadian is like 14 American. Man, in what country? In what
See?
country?
I like it.
Oh man, that's like when people are like, I remember people would be like, "Hey," because you know I'm from South America. They're like, "Hey, yeah, what's like 1 peso worth?" I'm like, I don't know, like one American dollar is like 30 pesos, and they're like, "Oh, okay," and like they'd always fuck with me with like pesos and shit.
Right.
I'm like, all right, all right. So the books that I want to talk about, you know, a lot of people know me for the Iron Man side, the Venom side. A lot of people don't know if they haven't already. I'm a huge Fantastic Four fan. Huge Franklin Richards. Huge with all of that. With that being said, I know a lot of people talk about Fantastic Four Annual 6 and things like that. These next books, I mean, take it for what it's worth. I'm on the lookout for them, but you know, I just thought I'd share the wealth because talking to Sandy last Thursday, you know, even off during the show and off the record, we were talking, you know, Franklin Richards. Like once we got off, we were still talking for like 30, 40 minutes. Like it's just like, you know, I love that. But let me bring up the window. So I'm going to use Key Collector for this. So all the credit goes to him for having the information. But we got Franklin Richards' sister, someone that's not really talked about a lot. So Valeria. I always fuck her name up. Richards is the daughter. I don't know. The way I'm seeing things, you know, with the Vision show, both kids are showing up. You know, women being in comics and, you know, kind of taking a bigger role in that. I could totally see her showing up. Again, there's a few books to maybe be on the lookout for. So Fantastic Four 15, first appearance of her as Von Doom. She's the alternate reality version of her. So just be careful. That's not necessarily the first appearance. Okay.
So we had talked about this particular character at one point in time.
Yes.
And I ended up doing a little further kind of digging into the backstory behind her. And so if what I'm understanding happened with her is correct, the Valeria Von Doom character is the same character as Valeria Richards later in the main continuity on some technicality bullshit. But like, so her name was Valeria Von Doom, obviously in her first incarnation, because she was the daughter of, you know, Sue, and I think she was the adopted daughter of Victor. I think she was actually Mr. Fantastic's daughter, but he died. Sue got remarried to Dr. Doom, and he adopted Valeria, and she changed her name to Von Doom or whatever. Now, she ends up dying off, but through Franklin Richards' powers or something like that in altering reality, he ends up basically doing some shit, and Invisible Woman ends up being pregnant again with Valeria Richards, which is the same Valeria Richards as that Valeria Von Doom was, but basically starting her life over again or some shit. I don't know. It got really weird.
So my suggestion would be just picking up all 3 books.
You're right. Like that seems to be the best way to go because there's no real indication as to actually if it's definitely the same character or if it's a completely different character or if it's some kind of weird mix of them or how they did that or, you know, what version of the character it's supposed to be. But
now it gets a little crazy because obviously she doesn't have the impact that Franklin does, but nevertheless, you might be able to see it. I bring this up because the brother and sister combo. When you think of Quicksilver, Scarlet Witch, now we're going to be seeing the kids with Vision and Wanda and things like that. So it's not crazy to think we might not see Valeria. I bring this up because the books are super cheap, like super cheap. And the prices that Key Collector has, I mean, I'm not going to say they're super accurate. They're pretty accurate, absolutely. But I mean, let's start at the top there. Fantastic Four, 15. Yeah, that's the alternate reality one. You can find that book on eBay right now for anywhere between $18 and $22 Canadian. Then we move on to Fantastic Four, 50. That's the first cameo appearance of her in the womb. So Sandy showed it on our show. He has the book. He showed it to us. It's just like the stomach, and then they show like almost, like her in the womb. Yeah, I don't know if that's the book you necessarily want. I mean, you could see right there from Key Collector's app, the high is $3. I mean, you could probably find that book for that. The ones that I would,
a lot of baby cameos and stuff like that usually don't seem to generate as much interest.
No, but that's the womb. That's not even like a baby.
Right. It's right? Even before.
Exactly. So I would probably skip on that one. The two that I would probably focus on is Fantastic Four, 15. Like I said, you're probably looking at about $18 to $20 Canadian. And then Fantastic Four, 54. Now, that's the first appearance of her as a baby.
Right.
I would probably pick both of them up. That one and 15, just to have them, because, I mean, when you think of Franklin, I mean, Fantastic Four Annual 6, he's a baby. It's his birth. It's not like he's an adult or anything like that, and that's a huge book. I know it's different because Franklin has a huge impact in comics and things like that, but it's not crazy to think. Buy low, sell high. Exactly. Always get them. You can find these books for literally peanuts right now, so why wouldn't you take advantage of it, right? I always say, if one of these books is like anywhere between $1 and $10, okay, how many of us, and I've said it, go to the corner store and sometimes get, extra this, or when you go to pump gas, you pick up a Snickers bar or something like that, or people lose money on a daily basis. They lose $5 here, or they find $5, like what? Just think about it that way, like, okay, I'm going to spend $5 on this book and hey, whatever. Sticking with Fantastic Four, I'm going to go back to my main man, Key Collector, and I'm going to go back to my main man, Franklin Richards. Now, I bring these two books up because I want to talk about Fantastic Four number 245, which is the first appearance of Avatar, Franklin Richards, an adult. And then we got Fantastic Four 376, which is, again, first appearance of Psylord, Franklin Richards as an adult. You can find these books literally for like $3.
Right.
I know Ultra was talking about 245 a while back. I mean, I have Fantastic Four Annual number 6. I've had conversations with, and I'm not name dropping, I'm not like, oh my God, like I don't know very Gary that well. We just talk, we communicate from time to time. But he had one of the piece of advice that he gave me was stack that book up. If you can find Fantastic Four Annual 6, stack it up. And, I try anytime I want. But this wouldn't be a bad book to kind of just have both of them together. It's especially being cheap. You know what I mean? Because there's going to come a point where we're going to see Franklin Richards in the MCU as an adult, and, it won't be a bad idea to kind of have these. I'm not going to go as far as saying, hey, it's like the Trinity or like a trifecta, like, say, Fantastic Four 48, 49, and 50 is, but it's not a bad combination to have to add to the collection for sure.
Right, definitely.
So that's
especially if you end up seeing that iteration of character take some role in the movies, whether it ends up being a permanent role or some kind of time travel or dimensional travel or something like that. But even if they show up in the movie, obviously it will generate some heat for a period of time. At least you've seen it, with every movie or TV series that's come out. So
exactly. Punch, that book I've been talking about for a while, actually, and everybody was like, no, man, like they've already done Dormammu. I always butcher his name, but like,
Dormammu, yeah. No, but I think we were actually just talking about Clea a
yeah,
couple weeks
Clea.
ago too. Yeah, she's
Look, it's a 2 first appearances. You can't go wrong. That book is really now. Everyone has a different definition of what cheap is, what a low bargain is. So I know
for
when
sure.
I've talked to certain people, I'm like, hey, this book is down. It's at like $180, $200, and people are like, whoa, man, that's like still pretty like heavy. But this book was like pretty high at one point. Even the higher grades of this book are still pretty high. So I don't know. It's a book I would probably
I like it. It's a good, yeah, it's definitely a good spec book because, Doctor Strange is a huge key part of opening up the whole multiverse thing in the cinematic universe, and it seems like they want to keep him, especially with Benedict Cumberbatch playing him. They want to keep him as an important part. So there's going to be a lot of you'll see his solo movies and obviously him playing a big role in the Avengers.
Yeah. Doc.
And possibly even on the Disney Plus series.
Yeah. Oh, huge, huge. Doc, I have not. I haven't been able to find it, man. It's a ghost, but it's one of those books that I'm still chasing because it's important to me. So yeah, I've kind of put out like a few feelers to a few people, but unfortunately, some people are asking way too much, and it's like anything, right? When somebody knows that you want it, they kind of raise the price. This guy,
Sure.
the last guy I talked to, he wanted $275 for it, and I was like, "What? Like, how? Why?" But
Well,
it is what it is, right? We weren't able to make
yeah.
a deal. I was polite about it, and I just thanked him for his time, and that was it. So someday the book will come around, hopefully.
Yeah, but Brother Voodoo is another good spec too. Dr. J
Yeah,
just put up there. Brother Voodoo for Doctor Strange is another good spec.
yeah. Comic Jump, man. This book, woo! You could pick this book up, but that's the thing. Like I was just talking about this on Thursday. You could pick this book. There's a 3.0 CGC, and I think taxes in shipping and everything is 230 all in Canadian. And I was kind of tempted. I have a 5.5. And yeah, I was tempted to kind of get another copy. So yeah, hyper 275 Canadian, man. The guy wanted for this Iron Man variant 125. It's important to me just because of the run and obviously the character.
That's why Newbie Comics is making that book hot.
Yeah, it just means something to me. Like it's not like that book's probably gonna go in my coffin. Like that's just how that book means to me. It's not. It has no real value to like the.
Yeah, he said it's gonna go in the coffin.
Yeah, I'm not selling that book. It's just a book that I want to like kind of hang up for myself.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but we all collect. We all have our character. We all have our books that the character comes in, and that unfortunately that's a book that I missed out on. But hey, I'm still looking for it. I go on eBay and different sites all the time. So we'll see. Strange Tales 169 and 70, First Brother. Yeah. Are you guys and Face? I don't think I've ever asked you, but do you think Killmonger and Brother Voodoo and all that stuff, like, do you think that they're gonna have bigger roles? Like, I could totally see Killmonger coming back, actually.
Yeah,
And
I could see them bringing Killmonger back in the Black Panther. I don't think you're gonna see it in Black Panther 2 or anything.
No,
but farther down the road, I could potentially see them bringing Killmonger back. Now, I just don't see it them doing it in Black Panther 2 because even though I guess it makes sense with everything that happened that they may push that time frame up on bringing him back.
Yeah.
And have him take over maybe as Black Panther. It seems a lot of people would like to see Shuri in that role. I don't think Marvel has made any decision yet as to what they're going to do.
And I don't think they will, to be honest with you. I
think it's going to be a little bit before they'll decide on where they're going to go with that. And I mean, it makes sense to just wait on it a little bit, because if they do it wrong, it's obviously going to really hurt the franchise. Um, but again, if they do it right and it's successful, you know, great.
I mean, let's
But
face it. The only thing that Marvel has kind of messed up is Captain Marvel. So, I mean,
Iron Man 3, Iron Man 3.
Iron Man 3 was terrible. Actually, I shouldn't say that because I got something sent to me, and I'm very humbled when people message me and they say they want to send me something. Like, I truly am.
Mhm.
I come from that immigrant mentality. Work your ass off. Nobody helps you. That's
Right.
why I value everything I have because of that. And a lot of people don't necessarily understand. But I'm not used to people giving me things. So actually, I'm gonna announce it probably next week or probably the week after that. But somebody had actually sent me something Iron Man 3 related, so I'll wait. But it was actually pretty dope. It was actually
Okay.
pretty
Okay.
cool. I'm gonna hang it up because I have to. It's actually pretty dope. So
Right.
I'll wait. Obviously you can see I'm excited because
Yeah,
I was
definitely.
tired, man. So um, what's it called? Hawaiian Punch. Yeah, I have too many books going in my coffin. Yeah. Uh,
Right.
if you
I
guys
got all of them going in my coffin if I can help it.
if you guys miss my IG, I basically put that Tales of Suspense 39 picture up because
Yeah.
we're moving. I had sold one of my rental, and I'm moving in with my future fiance now. So I had a few bucks that were kind of just gonna be mine, and I had told her, I'm like, I kind of want to buy this comic, and I thought she was gonna like destroy me. Like I literally thought. That's why I captioned it like, "Oh, I'm probably going to be on the couch for a year." But when I told her that I wanted to buy it, first thing she said was like, "Is it important to you?" And I said, "I mean, it is and it isn't." And she was like, "If it's really important to you, buy it." And I was shocked. I was like, "Oh my god." She's like what's so
Right.
important about this book? And I said, "This book will go in my coffin." And she goes, "Joel." I go, "No, I'm serious. Like this book will probably go in my coffin.
Right.
It's just not a book that you give away." But I don't know if I'm gonna do it, man. That's a lot of dough on a book, man. A
It
lot of
is.
book.
It is, but again, if it's gonna be, if it's one that you really, feel strongly about and you want because it's your character, I mean, like she said, go ahead and get it.
Yeah.
And not to change the subject, but Doc J was, saying that they'll recast Black Panther. Yeah, I do think they will end up recasting him. I just think they're gonna take some time before they end up doing it. I don't. To live up to the first movie right now is a lot of pressure, and I think it'll be maybe a couple years down the road, 2 or 3 years before you see them
And
try
I
and.
think I think it's screwed, and obviously it's not his fault. I mean, the guy had an illness, and I know a lot
Oh
of
yeah,
people
definitely.
still to this day are not talking about Black Panther. I have so much respect. I mean, I've had people in my life pass away from cancer. It's a shitty situation, but I mean, we are talking comics and things like that and movies. So I don't want to get anybody, getting hate on me for this, but yeah, like it is sad. Black Panther was a very popular character, things like that. I just think they're gonna take their sweet time doing that because the next stage, let's face it, was gonna be Captain Marvel, Black Panther, Spider-Man. It was
Yeah,
it was gonna be that. So I think it kind of put, what's that saying? A nail in the coffin, or I don't know. I can't remember the saying, but it did screw things up now because now where are they kind of going to go, right? It's going to be interesting to see.
well, they'll just, they'll adjust, like Dr. J said. They'll end up recasting more likely. Um, but again, they're not really. It doesn't seem like they're pushing for
No,
another Avengers movie for a few years. So to push back the Black Panther sequel a little bit, and just wait for a while, I don't think will really hurt them too much. It's just going to be important that they cast the role correctly,
yeah,
however they do it, because trying to live up to that first movie is going to be huge.
yeah. And you know what? It's funny. It's not funny, but I like the fact how you brought that up because and again, it's my opinion, but I feel like that was key what you just said. It's going to be a while before we see another Avengers type movie. With
Right.
Fantastic Four coming, with X-Men coming and things like that, like people automatically just assume, hey, you know what? When the movie's announced, it's going to go, we're going to see all the characters and it's going to go boom, 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 boom. No, it's probably not. It's probably going to be, X-Men, but then it's going to be like maybe 2 of them or 3 of them finding the rest of them, kind of, like we're going to see individual movies of characters before the team ups and all that. I personally think, right? Because think about how they did the
Right.
first. What was first? Iron Man, Thor, Captain America. Like, you got your individual things and then everybody came together. So I think, before people get crazy, because I've heard people say, oh, when the X-Men movie comes out, oh yeah, we're gonna see Fantastic Four and we're gonna see this, and it's like, you honestly think they're gonna put everybody together in like the first movie that comes out of COVID? No, it's not gonna happen.
Right. Yeah. Like I don't think that you're gonna see them pump stuff out the way that they have been in the past. And in that they're gonna have a series of like 3 movies or 4 movies that build into this one larger Avengers movie. I think you'll see a lot more of the solo movies or the team ups that aren't necessarily like are just a standard team.
Yep.
Because now they have Marvel has a much bigger sandbox to play in now that they've gotten a lot of the rights to their characters back for the most part. So there's a lot more stuff that they can do, and they don't have to just build to an Avengers movie every 3 to 5 years or whatever. Now you
Absolutely.
can build X-Men, you can build Champions, all the different teams that you can go with. Fantastic Four, and the individual characters that hopefully they can breathe some new life into, like Ghost Rider. Um,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Ghost Rider's just
I was
begging
hoping
for a
Keys
reboot.
would be on it because Keys loves Ghost Rider, so he'd probably get a kick out of that, and I know he's got a lot to say because anytime I bring up Ghost Rider, he just goes on. So I wanted to bring
Yeah.
this up. It was said a while ago, and like I hope Doc, I hope you're still in here. And I apologize we didn't get to your question. I know you had made a few comments and I brought them up. I just kind of overlooked this one because I figured I'd have time to talk about it near the end, and here we are near the end. What's your take on X-Men Annual First Gambit?
I know
My
you like this one.
Yeah, Gambit's one of my favorite characters. I tell everybody to stack that annual up. One, it's cheaper than Uncanny X-Men 266. This one, I mean, it's tough because, like, we're a lot of people will say, hey, you know what? Like, if we get 1,000 signatures on this paper, maybe they'll change the notoriety, and the CGC will have to say it's the first cameo or the first appearance. I don't think we're gonna get to that. I really don't. But there is evidence in the book, if you open it up, that yeah, he's in a panel. He is talked to. They do say his name. So like all the credentials that make up that first appearance are in that book. Unfortunately, I mean, I just think for now and maybe the short future, I guess I won't say forever. I just think that 266 will be the first appearance. But I don't know. I think that book has a lot of room to grow just because of that controversy with that and when that character comes up. I think a lot of people are thinking, hey, when X-Men comes back, we're going to have Wolverine and this like that. I don't necessarily think we're going to see a Wolverine at first to begin with. I think the characters they're going to build on is Storm, Rogue, Beast, Cyclops, Gambit. Out of those, we're probably going to Jubilee. Like I feel like they're going to market Jubilee, Rogue, and Gambit a little better. And yeah,
That makes sense.
you know, that's why I've always preached: get this X-Men Annual 14, go get that Avengers Annual 10. Those are really low right now because not a lot of people are talking about them.
It's a funny thing in regards to the CGC notations. It seems like when CGC as a company first came out and everything and started doing, the grading process and slapping, and specifically the notations that they put on the books, it was, you know, a great idea, and they were like, yeah, let's put on here that it's the first appearance of such and such a character. And then somewhere along the lines, they ran into one of those fucking controversies, and they were like,
Yeah.
well, shit, what do we do? And it seems like their policy has changed on that shit, and they really kind of shy away from it until they kind of have to put the notation down anymore. Because again, there's a lot of controversies, a lot of mixed feelings on first appearances versus cameos versus unofficial cameos, whatever the fuck that is. You
I
know,
feel like they have to do something where, and I don't think they ever will, but I feel like it would be better for us, the comic community, to know. Like, have a definition of what the first appear, like what a first full appearance is to you, what a first appearance is to you, what a cameo is. So in that way, everybody has the criteria, because then you would squash this Hulk 180, Hulk 181, X-Men Annual 14, X-Men 266, right? Like me, I'm team Hulk 181.
right.
But
Well,
on the same side, I'm
the
X-Men
problem is
Annual.
on some of those things like Hulk 181 and even potentially Gambit and everything like that. It's almost one of those things where it's like it doesn't even really matter,
No.
you know, anymore at this point, because the market is so set.
Yeah.
You know, like you're not really going to change it at this point because it's been that way for however many years, and that's just the way that it's going to be. Even if CGC came along tomorrow and said, you know what, fuck it, we're going to put Wolverine's first appearance as Hulk 180. Like,
Oof.
yeah, could you imagine the shitstorm that it would spark?
Exactly. And you have a lot of, and here's the other problem. You have a lot of those old school guys in their 50s, 40s, and 50s that are still in power. They're still in those high places that they're old school. To them, they grew up and it was Hulk 181. They grew up. And I mean, I know the Gambit one is a little later in time, but like this is how they grew up. This is what the books are. So that's how it's
Right.
going to stay. Right. So
Yeah.
when people, and that's the thing, like when people made that whole like virus thing, right? Like with the free comic and things like that, there was like an uproar where they're like, oh my God, we can change it. Oh, we need his signatures and the power of social media and blah, blah, blah. Well, it's not going to happen. Like, I personally don't think, I wish they did. I personally wish they did, kind of gave you a definition of like,
Right.
hey, because to me, man, I always get tricked out with first full appearance and first appearance. Like
Right.
it really, it's kind of one of those things. It's like, okay, I don't understand. Like I just saw the character like in the other one. So what is the difference between first app and first full app? You know, like just all this. I think that it would just make more sense if they just had definitions of what everything was to them. That way, as a collector, you know.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. And you know, and the other thing actually about the notations is so, and not so much with CGC, although like if you send in a comic to CGC, um, and let me go ahead and give credit where it's due. There was actually a video put out by Mint Hunter Comics a couple days ago about sending submissions into CGC, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
he mentions this information. But if you send a comic into CGC, you can put like a post-it note on the
Oh yeah,
bag or whatever if you would like for CGC to notate something on the book. Now, with CGC, that doesn't necessarily mean that they are going to notate it, but they'll look into it and potentially notate it. Some other companies don't have that whatever guidelines. Some other companies, if you send in, you know, the post-it note saying that you would like this or whatever in the notations, for the most part, it's almost like a blank check. Like they'll pretty much put whatever the fuck you want on there.
yeah.
And you
It
know,
just
that's
depends. It just depends on how and who's grading the book, what mood they, rolled out of bed and things like that. I've sent books to CGC, and I've put a post-it where like I had said, like I don't want to ruin it, but there was like a Venom book, an Ultimate Spider-Man book that I sent recently,
mhm.
and it is scarce. There's not a lot of copies. I think mine's going to come out to be very high.
Mm-hmm.
high grade. So I'm kind of excited because I haven't really seen a lot of high grades of this book. This is a book that a few months ago I talked to Keep It Thorough with. We had a few conversations about this book. We were actually the only two people talking about the book, but I'll get to it when the book actually arrives. But yeah, I put a post-it saying, "Hey, do you guys mind?" And the way I worded it was, "Hey, do you guys mind looking into the fact that I heard this character was this in
Right.
the book, right?" Sometimes
Yeah.
they do, sometimes they don't. Like the shop that I send my stuff through told me, he's like, "Oh, it's not gonna matter. They won't care." And I had to say, "Well, no, like just put it in anyway. Like I'd rather that happen."
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
sometimes they
because they do read the notes that are included, and they will look into it. Now, if you say like, okay, so if you're sending in like if you're sending in an issue of like, I don't know, just Captain America fucking 23 or something, and you say, hey, can I get you to put that this is the first appearance of Wolverine? Obviously, they're not going to do that dumb shit. But
yeah,
like if you're sending in something that's at least not notated previously or whatever, they'll look into it, and potentially you could be the book that starts them notating
yeah,
this first appearance or whatever.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But I just I just don't like. It's not that I don't like because again, Gambit is it's closer to my heart. Not like my opinion is I'm small in comparison to other channels and things like that. But it's not like what I say my opinion. CGC is watching, being like, oh, well, fuck. If newbie doesn't like it, we're gonna have to change it. I'm just saying. A lot of people in the community, I read things on Instagram, I read things on Facebook, I read things, blogs and Pinterest and things like that from comic people, and they're like, if all we need to do is march, and all we need is signatures, and they'll switch it. Go
Yeah,
march, go
just
read signatures. They're not going to change certain books. It's just not going to happen.
right.
It's not. So I think what needs to happen instead of that is why don't we come to a common ground of okay, what's the first app? What's the first full app? What's the cameo? What are the descriptions? That way, when you're looking for a book and they pop up, we know.
Well, in my opinion, the whole reason that you're not going to see that happen either is because once you come to that agreement, or once you give, like, okay, it's either that we're going to decide CGC is going to be the authority on this shit, and we're going to give them that power to say, okay, this is the first appearance, this is a cameo or whatever. When they come out and they say, okay, yeah, well, now you've given us this authority, and we looked into it, and Hulk 180 is the first appearance of Wolverine. That's why you're not going to see. I think you're really
Yeah,
not going to see that happen. You're not going to see any clarification on what exactly is defined as a cameo or a first appearance. It's
yeah.
just going to come down to personal opinion and
Like, or
how
if they
someone
had,
feels about
or if they, I mean, I know that if they ever said, hey, we have like a hotline where you could like call us and then we'll let you know. But I
it.
mean,
Right.
okay, anybody who, I don't know who has the book, but I have 5 copies, sorry, of X-Men Annual 14. And
Hmm.
Gambit shows up in it. You see him. He's
Yeah.
talked to. He's described. His name is called. Like I said, he talks. So he's in multiple
Oh,
panels.
for sure.
So, in my opinion, that is the first appearance. There's no doubt in
Right.
my mind that is, but that's where I'm saying where we need to get what definitions are of this stuff because it's not. It's considered the cameo, right? So that's where I'm kind of like. It's not that I'm switching up Hawaiian. Like I truly believe that is the first, but I just what I was trying to get at is I don't think that people signing a paper or like going to march is going to change it. It's not like I don't know. I just feel
Well,
like we need better communication with CGC, CBSC, and all those companies to come together and kind of just give a definition of what it is, right?
yeah, and they're not going to do that.
No.
And I mean, because again, it would create so much controversy, and that's really what it boils down to is the fact that it would create controversy. In order for that to happen, you would essentially have to have like maybe a company that I don't even want to say like a grading company or even an app or anything like that, but not that I'm pointing out CGC or Key Collector or any of those or anything, but they have voices in the community as far as what that kind of stuff is.
Yeah.
And, there's a lot of times where you'll see like maybe they just don't do it because they don't want to create that controversy
No.
or deal with the fallout of that controversy. So it's rather, it's more a case of, well, fuck it. All the money is in, X-Men 266 because he's on the cover and more people have it, or whatever. So just let it ride out and that be what it is. Whereas if some other company came up out of nowhere and was just like, you know what, no, that shit doesn't make any sense. The annual is going to be the first appearance. You're not really going to put a lot of stock in their opinion because they're a new company that nobody's ever heard of. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the established companies don't want to do it, and nobody new that would do it is going to be paid any attention to. So
this is a good question. Justin says, does Overstreet have a definition in their books? I don't know.
That is a good question, man. Overstreet, like, honestly, it could. I've never read an Overstreet front to back. I crack it open when I try and need to look up some. I don't even look it up. I don't even look at Overstreet for prices or anything, but
yeah,
I gotta look it up for like information on like grading and stuff like that, different flaws or whatever. But that's about all I really use Overstreet for anymore.
Man, we had a really good run. I didn't even notice it was 2.5 hours. So
oh wow, yeah,
that just shows you how much fun. Like I worked pretty early, so yeah, wow. Thanks for letting me escape, guys. This one was really good. Yeah, so next week we're probably gonna go on Sunday, not Monday. So just keep that in mind. So if you can't make it, just catch us on the rewind. I got a video dropping next week. FaceTime, what do you have coming up?
So I got the Zaz video that I'm going to be dropping after the show. It probably won't be right after the show, but I'm dropping that later tonight. Got it all recorded and everything is set up. Just waiting to upload it. And I think I'm actually going to put it up tomorrow or the next day. I did another character spotlight on one of my personal favorite characters who kind of ties in with Halloween. So,
ooh, okay, I'm definitely gonna check it out. Before we go, yeah, Lasso, you are absolutely correct, and I can see that from the marketing side because I'm always talking marketing.
Yeah, exactly.
I can
That's
definitely.
It's always going to be where the money flows.
Yeah, and even with that Gambit book, I mean, I know you don't see that book on like mugs and things like that. The annual book, I don't think it's that nice of a cover. I don't think it's an attractive book. It's all over the place.
Right.
But on the flip side, I mean, I don't also think that, Uncanny X-Men 266 is that great either. I mean, the guy's wearing a fucking thong on the cover, and no one ever talked about that. So the Gambit I grew up on in the cartoons, he never wore a thong. So it's a little weird. But nevertheless, guys, I had a lot of fun. Thank you so much for coming, tuning in, giving us your information. If you guys have any comment, any topic you guys want us to talk about, next week's show or things like that, hit me up, hit FaceTime, let us know, because we'll definitely love to get, I know I get sometimes a lot of guys messaging me, hey, what do you think about this book or things like that? Hit me up before, hit me up a few days before, things like that, even the morning of, and I can definitely talk about it. I know a few guys do that, so
For
definitely
sure.
do that. All right. So guys, you heard from FaceTime. He's got a video coming out. We're going to be back on next Sunday. I got a video coming out, so tune in for that. And as always, go sub each other up, go help each other out, go check each other out. All right? Take care, guys.
Peace.